Judy Rankin and Curtis Strange, Bob Rosberg, Mark McCumber, and Frank Hannigan. I'm Roger Twyble. Thanks for being with us from the Desert Inn Resort in Las Vegas, Nevada. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
In college football, rivalry supersedes the current fortunes of the combatants. Tonight, the oldest rivalry in the South resumes in Death Valley as South Carolina visits Clemson. It all started in 1896. It has survived 2 world wars, featured numerous dramatic plays like this block punt in 1948 that lifted Clemson to victory. For a long time, it was known as Big Thursday and played exclusively in Columbia through 1959.
I never will forget the first time they came up to Clemson to play us. They had a sign over in Greenville. It says, Clemson left. And you know, every one of them turned around and went back to Columbia.
It was postponed but not canceled following the Kennedy assassination. In 1966, Frank Howard added the Rock, and a tradition was born on the hill overlooking Death Valley.
You know, a fella named Jones was traveling out in Death Valley, and he brought me this rock, and it sat around my office for about 3 years. I told Gene Williman, I said, Gene, take this rock and throw it over in the valley. I thought he was just going to pitch it over the fence. So he went out there and built this thing like a little fountain, and I saw it. I said, well, I'll have some fun out of this thing. So I told those players, I said, now, all of it is going to give me 110%. You can rub my rock. I said, if you're not going to give me 110%, keep your filthy hands off my rock.
Through good times and bad for 90 consecutive years, this rivalry has been waged. One of the most unique and enduring traditions in college football. The Clemson Tigers touch the rock, run down the hill to Memorial Stadium. And better than 80,000 on hand to see 2 teams who have just 3 wins between them. But this is very much a big game in these parts as South Carolina takes on Clemson. Everybody, Wayne Larrabee along with Dean Blevins. Great to have you with us for this rivalry here tonight. And this rivalry has taken on an added specter, Dean, with the situations involving the 2 head coaches. Let's start with Tommy West. It's his last game tonight here at Clemson.
Well, Wayne, you're right. Tommy West was fired on Wednesday. This guy, though, is a consummate coach. I was at Thursday's practice. I don't know that I've ever been at a practice where a team was as emotional and supportive of its head coach, and I think it would be a plus for his team tonight. Unfortunately, Tommy's only won half his games, and at Clemson, that's just not good enough.
Well, at South Carolina, the Gamecocks in the middle of a single season have never lost 9 in a row until this year. So you got to wonder, Brad Scott's job on the line here tonight?
Well, you know, the other day he told us he thought he would return. I disagree. I think he's out. He's also a good guy, popular with most of the fans, but the bottom line is the bottom line. He's only won 1/3 of his conference games. He's 228-1 against teams 500 or better.
Well, Lewis Johnson joins us down on the sidelines, and let's go to Lewis right now.
Wayne, thanks so much. This is what the newspaper looked like around here on Thursday morning. Clemson fires Coach West, but inside the locker room just a moment ago, he had nothing to say about that. What he said was very simple. He said, this is a 4-round fight. We've got to control our emotions, win rounds 1 and 2, come back in the locker room and talk about it, and ultimately, let's win this last fight together. Wayne?
Thank you very much, Lewis. The road team has won the last 7 games between these 2 teams. But before we get away, let's check in with Mike Adamle in the studio.
All right, thank you very much, Wayne. South Carolina and Clemson, of course, just part of a big rivalry Saturday here. And quickly, let's update you on 2 important games. Number 1, Kansas State against Missouri. Missouri coming back. Corby Jones going deep to John Dousman. That brought them within 2. They missed the point-after conversion, or actually the 2-point conversion, and they trail by 2 with 11:41 to go in the 4th quarter. Meanwhile, Florida State, what a game for Peter Warwick, the wide receiver, turned quarterback here on this play. The touchdown pass to tight end Ron Dugans, and the Seminoles lead Florida 20-12 in the 4th quarter. But coming up next is South Carolina versus Clemson. Rivalry week continues. Back with the first half kickoff in just a moment.
I need to make a call. I'll be quick. I'm going to use 1-800-COLLECT.
It's 10 cents a minute every evening.
So I can talk as long as I want.
Could you do me a favor then?
Sure.
Move. You're crushing my spleen.
1-800-COLLECT. 10 cents a minute every evening.
Some people call it retirement planning. I think of this as future construction. Year by year, block by block, until...
It's our dream house.
Beautiful. But I was hoping we could afford to travel.
This plan can help make it happen. We can even make sure you've got worry-free income for life.
AXA. Dynamic vision. Equitable. A trusted resource. Call us. Equitable is a member of the global AXA group.
To create a memorable Polaroid photo, you need 1, a well-rehearsed pose.
Hey, Bill.
And 2, film.
No film.
Now get a free pack of Alter Image, the film you can draw on, when you buy 2 packs of Polaroid film.
ESPN2's presentation of college football is brought to you by 1-800-COLLECT, the easy way to save, by AXA and the Equitable. Start building your financial future today. And by Vario. The new world of business starts here.
Wayne Larrabee, Dean Blevins, Lewis Johnson, Death Valley, Memorial Stadium, Clemson, South Carolina. Clemson won the toss, deferred. South Carolina will receive. Back deep, the dangerous Boo Williams led the SEC in kickoff returns last season, 6th this year. And a beautiful night in late November in South Carolina. Clemson Tigers in the solid orange with the blue trim. Bryant Smith getting set to get it underway. 42 kickoffs, 23 touchbacks this season. We're underway. Boo Williams too deep to take it out. Take a look at the South Carolina offense, and we begin with quarterback Anthony Wright, a senior. He's played well recently. We'll also see redshirt freshman Phil Petty. Zola Davis at wide receiver leads the Gamecocks in receptions. And Jamar Nesbitt has been the starting center, moves to right tackle on an injury-riddled offensive line. First down from the 20-yard line for South Carolina. Play action, Wright looks to the air, and he's going deep. Nearly intercepted on the play. DeMarco Fox, the deep safety for Clemson. Take a look at the Tiger defense up front. Donald Brumfield, defensive tackle, a great senior leader up front. The outside people on the front 7, Dingle and Abdullah, outstanding perimeter players. And the quarterback, Antoine Edwards, one of the best in the country, but playing on a tender hamstring. 2nd and 10. Right. Fleming, first down across the 30-yard line. Alex Ardley is the man they worked on. Ben Fleming, the junior, out of Jacksonville, Florida. So a first down on a gain of 12 yards.
Early things to look for. Antoine Edwards, number 1 for Clemson, is a terrific player. He's got a hamstring pull. We'll see if South Carolina can exploit that. And also a big miss tonight. Chris Jones, the middle linebacker for Clemson, not in uniform.
Antoine Neesmith is the lone setback behind Anthony Wright. And the freshman gets it. And he gets stuffed right away. Great penetration to Mont McKenzie, the junior from Lake City, South Carolina.
Well, conventional wisdom says that the emotion that plays to the favor of Clemson will help them early, particularly against the run. And you see Clemson known historically as a great run defense, and that's pardon me, that's the way they are again this year. You would think that they would do that tonight, and Clemson will have to throw the ball. Excuse me, South Carolina will have to throw the ball effectively to win.
2nd down and 9. Zola, Davis, Edwards on the stop at the 40-yard line, about 2 yards short of the first down on a gain of 7.
You know, I'm not sure that Anton Edwards feels really comfortable with that hamstring. Let's watch him over here. It'll be to the right of your screen. Number 1 will almost make this play. I think if he has a healthy hamstring, he's able to make that play. He doesn't give the spurt because, Wayne, as you know, that's where you pull hamstrings. We'll monitor that throughout the night.
There's a look at Antoine Edwards, one of Clemson's greatest defensive backs. And they've had some good ones down here, Donnell Wolford being one. Take a look at South Carolina. Very good on 3rd down conversion, 2nd in the SEC.
Flip side of that is they give the other team 48%. That's why they haven't won.
From the shotgun right, takes it himself. First down and more to the midfield marker. Raheem Abdullah tracked him down. A 10-yard gain to a first down for the Gamecocks.
Well, speaking of number 1's injured, the quarterback here, Anthony Wright, is a guy that's really been hurt, but he just sprints through the line there. He tore a knee and hurt some ligaments and a hamstring as well, but he's come back with a nice spurt there that if he can make plays tonight, or his backup Phil Petty, these guys have a little legitimate shot.
Well, Wright had a devastating knee injury last November before this game. Not a whole lot there. Clemson flows very well to the football, and Troy Hambrick, who on 2 occasions in this series, last 2 years, has rushed for 135 yards in each game against Clemson, gets no gain. 2nd and 10. Take a look at Hambrick this season. 5 yards a pop. That's effective running. 8th in the SEC.
A couple of nice backs. Boo Williams is good as well, but Hambrick's more the explosive slasher.
Well, Reggie Herring, the defensive coordinator of Clemson, told us that he feels Boo Williams is the best back South Carolina has. So we'll see a lot of him before long. Right? Didn't fool anybody. Ball the pursuit to the quarterback. Raheem Abdullah all over Anthony Wright. And he had to let that one go a lot sooner than he wanted.
Well, he plays the strong side linebacker. He'll come from the left side of your screen out of the picture. Abdullah is a terrific athlete. This guy is 6'6", 240 pounds, obviously very rangy, undersized in some senses in terms of his weight, but he is a terrific football player and only a junior.
I'll tell you, 53 Abdullah, 52 Dingle, Dean. We're going to watch them here tonight. 2 excellent athletes on the perimeter of the front 7 for Clemson.
They will be in the pros, as Chris Jones will be probably, and Edwards will be for sure the cornerback. So 4 players.
3rd and 10. Wright drills it very close to the first down. Near the 40-yard line. I believe they may be just short. Responding quickly on that play, Harold Means, Robert Carswell, and it depends. They're going to call for the chains. Fleming, the receiver. Brad Scott might have a decision to make. So on he straps the headset. Talk to the folks upstairs.
You know, Brad told us on Wednesday that he felt that his team would have to, he and Chuck Reedy, the offensive coordinator, concentrate on play action passes tonight because of the flow of the linebackers as they come up just a little bit short. But Clemson, particularly being so inspired and fired up tonight, they will flow so quickly, being a fast linebacking crew.
South Carolina better than 50% on 4th downs. What do you think here, Dean? Just a quick count and the quarterback
I think quarterback sneaks are the safest and the most productive in this situation.
Let's see if they go on a fast count. Triple I in the backfield. Quick count and quarterback sneak. It looks like Anthony Wright has the first down.
I'd like to see the percentages. A quarterback sneaks of a yard or less.
A yard or less, yep.
I bet you that 90% or more.
Got to be a safe play.
Yet how many times have you seen? You see NFL teams do it, and college games you call, turn around and hand it back to an I-back 8 yards deep.
8 yards deep, and then go wide with it sometimes.
Yeah.
You wonder what's going on here.
Safest play right there. Just go right behind the big guys up front. Brown doing a nice job. Rivers,
Jones. Went off the left cheek of Scott Brown. That's what quarterbacks used to tell me. Go off, pick a cheek, right or left, and just go for it.
I think that's accurate.
First down. Wright bought some time, nearly threw an interception. Ardley almost picked it away. Redshirt freshman out of Tallahassee, Florida.
Well, Ardley's the guy they're probably going to be picking on a lot tonight. Number 28. Watch him in man coverage here on the outside. Now, this ball is probably intercepted if he doesn't have so much velocity. But I'm telling you, Anthony Wright can throw a bullet. Reedy says he's never been around anyone with more velocity than his quarterback, Wright.
Wright 3 of 6, 28 yards. Wright is the guy they feel can take advantage of what Clemson will give them defensively, and that's some of the out patterns, some of the sideline patterns, and Anthony Wright needs a timeout here on 2nd down and 10. Early going in Death Valley. South Carolina and Clemson are scoreless.
Once they roamed the seas and explored the skies. But today, they're on the net. They are pioneers discovering a new world of e-commerce, of high-speed internet access. That's where Verio comes in. For we are the pioneers of the internet, the hosts of the new world, the leader in websites with state-of-the-art connections and a Tier 1 backbone for everything you need from the net. Verio, the new world of business.
No words are ever exchanged. Just a chemical connection from afar. A click, a zap, then poof. Your destiny passes you by. How many times is she gonna slip through your fingers? How many more chances are you gonna get? This train is leaving the station, slugger. Are you on board? Or what? Every day's a test. Those who pass deserve a great beer. Sam Adams. It's what's inside.
You can't see anything in a car. You can't see past the guardrails in a car. That's why we only sell trucks.
Look, Mommy, a tugboat. Really? In the water? Yeah.
Not tiny little cars.
Mommy, birds. Wow.
We prefer the view from the look outside and see the world as Suzu Trooper.
Look, Bob, a space shuttle.
Because you never know what you might miss in a car.
ESPN2's presentation of college football is brought to you by Isuzu, specialized worldwide builders of adventure machines. Isuzu, go farther.
Cooper Library, I tell you what, only a bookworm would be in there on a night like tonight.
This is a wonderful championship-type atmosphere, and if you're not here, it's hard to understand.
Take a look at the current drive. It started on the 20-yard line. Just inside the 40 of Clemson, South Carolina. Here comes Hambrick. Good move to the outside. The old stiff arm. Got by Ardley and out of bounds. Just inside the 20-yard line of Clemson. 20-yard pickup for Troy Hambrick.
Hambrick shows us some of that explosive slashing ability. Watch Hambrick here. He's going to make the move right out here. And then you'll see a big stiff arm coming. And Ardley will just be stiff-armed out of the way. This is textbook right here.
That's Walter Payton right there.
Wow, really is. Big-time run by Hambrick.
So first down just inside the 20. Sophomore running back Troy Hambrick. First down. Play action. Hambrick, a nice block. That springs Anthony Wright. Penalty marker down, and Wright escapes out of bounds after a 10-yard gain. There is a flag down to the play.
Has to be against South Carolina. This has been a team that has moved the ball pretty well from 30 to 30, but a bad red zone team. Anytime they get inside the 20, they seem to bog down, and a penalty here will set them back and make it much more difficult. Oh!
Holding against Clemson.
I thought I saw something in the line. They're still a bad red zone team. I don't take that part back.
All right.
They've been working on a lot of inside passing game, although that was a wise play in getting Wright in a run-pass option on the corner.
Yeah, in a moment, as Brad Scott paces anxiously, the officials making sure they've got it all straightened out. Rogers Redding is the referee, and we'll hear from him in a moment. All in due time. Tommy West looking on. His final game here tonight in Death Valley.
We have holding against the defense. That penalty's declined. The yardage is enough for a first down. First down.
It was a 10-yard gain. It's a first down just at the 9-yard line of Clemson.
I believe the call was on the strong safety, Carswell, 9. You take a look. See if you think this is flagrant enough for a holding call. If that's it, it's close. Regardless, it's first down inside the 10.
First and goal. Troy Hambrook is the tailback. Blitz coming. They picked it up well. Right to the corner on the fade, and it's overthrown incomplete. Zola Davis, the intended receiver. Antoine Edwards, the coverage.
He had him there that time. Zola Davis, the primary target. He had Edwards beaten on this play. Watch him. It's a post corner. Fakes the post route out to the corner, wide open by 4 yards. Just thrown out of the end zone. A little too much on it. Remember, a gun Anthony Wright owns. Sometimes having an arm that strong, if you can't pull it back, throttle it back, it's a big problem.
Antoine Edwards, as we talked earlier, playing on a tender hamstring.
Second and goal at the 9-yard
boy, I
line.
tell you, that's an injury if you're a defensive back you don't want to be on the field with.
Well, particularly, and we'll get back to this in a minute, I admire him playing with his NFL potential.
Right again, looks to the air, the short pattern. There's a penalty marker down. Neesmith makes the reception, and they're ruling. Well, they're going to say that he caught the ball or not. I believe they're going to call a penalty. And offsides the call against Clemson. So penalties now beginning to pile up on Tommy West's team.
You know, Tommy West is a guy who's flattered by the fact that he has players out there like Edwards and like Jones.
Offside against the defense, the player lined up in the neutral zone, half the distance to the goal, replay second down.
Who could not play. I mean, Jones is not playing. He's physically unable. But Tommy says, you know, Antoine Edwards, he doesn't need to go play. He's already made his pro money. What if he goes there and pulls a hamstring? Same with Dingle. These guys are injured a little bit. Abdullah as well. Great drive here, though, by the Gamecocks.
Second down and goal to go just inside the 5. Davis was in motion. Wright comes up looking to throw. Wright going to take it himself. Touchdown! Four-yard touchdown run. Anthony Wright to cap an 80-yard game-opening drive.
This is all Anthony Wright. This is play action. He's trying to find something in the middle of the field. He improvises, uses his athletic ability. He's not nearly the runner he was before his injuries, yet he's able to find a seam and get that one in the end zone. And what a way to start with the enthusiasm here at Clemson tonight.
Courtney Levitt for the point after. Penalty markers all over the play.
Well, an inauspicious beginning for Clemson. They will be offsides on that one. So 3 defensive penalties in this first possession.
And Dean, you've got to go back to what Lewis Johnson gleaned from the locker room, and that is Tommy West wanted his team to come out and control their emotions, and perhaps they're a little bit too keyed up for this game. Penalties and mistakes early hurt Clemson as South Carolina goes the distance.
Got him now.
Yeah, if I could only see.
I've got the perfect thing.
The Bosch Micro Edge Excel has a revolutionary dual rubber wiping element.
Move to the left a little.
It's the best cleaning, longest lasting blade we've ever made. Bosch Micro Edge Excel, the most advanced wiper system ever.
Beautiful. But I think we lost the headlight.
We don't build commuter cars or get you to work fast pinstriped cars. We don't build cars, period. We build the 205 horsepower, get out of town fast Isuzu Rodeo. Because there's more to life than the daily commute.
You jerk. I never want to see you again. Oh!
Savan, soft 100% cotton pants. They're the only pants made with Process 2000, so they don't wrinkle, which means you'll always come off looking good, no matter what you've done.
T. Martin and the Versatile Balls charge into the hard-hitting D of the Commodores.
Tennessee versus Vanderbilt at 3:30 next Saturday on ESPN2.
South Carolina goes on top with the quarterback, Anthony Wright, right there making the play. And interestingly, as you see him improvise and get into the end zone, he's a guy who came out in the local paper today saying something about his coach that left his coach concerned before the game, saying, I don't know if he's going to be back. I leave it up to the athletic director. I'd rather not comment. Not a major endorsement from the quarterback.
A pooch kick by Levitt. Fair catch signal made and muffed by the Clemson Tigers, and South Carolina's got it. Zola Davis, and coming away with the football, Sheldon Brown.
We have an inadvertent whistle. By rule, we will re-kick.
Oh, there's a break for the home team.
And Brad Scott is going to need some explanation on that one. Listen to it.
That is perfect pickup of the sound, by the way, guys. Way to go, but clearly a bad call that could cost South Carolina. What field position and momentum they would have.
Austin was the man who muffed it on that pooch kick. And boy, the scramble was on, and South Carolina, had there not been an inadvertent whistle, would have handed the football. The official just thought that the receiver had made the clean, fair catch. Well, that's to show you, Dean, in this game, you never anticipate, do you?
No. Well, you don't in that case, for sure. But, you know, some penalties are only the difference in 5 or 10 or 15 yards. In this case, it's 50 yards, and it's difference of possession.
Possession. That's the key, possession. So here's Levitt once again. And again, the pooch kick high in the air. Austin muffed it again, but got it back.
Well, we need to get a good look at Mr. Austin, because my guess, Mr. Austin won't be on the kickoff return team next time out.
Yet he's going to handle the ball some here tonight in the offensive backfield for the Clemson Tigers. Let's take a look at the Clemson offense. And we begin with running back Travis Zachary, redshirt freshman, coming off a 94-yard rushing performance last week against Georgia Tech. Wide receiver Brian Wofford is the go-to guy, big play specialist. And Holland Postel has started the last 34 games at offensive right tackle, an all ACC caliber performer. Got an injured Tiger down on the field. Make it an injured Gamecock down there in the field.
I think it's Darren Brooker.
While we take care of that, and it is Darren Brooker. He's getting helped up. Let's go back to the studio. Mike Adamle. Mike.
All right, Wayne, I'm going to wrap up one game for you and update you on another one. Kansas State and Missouri. Frank Murphy going in from a yard out. But watch what happens here after getting the handoff from Michael Bishop. He fumbles the ball and had the presence of mind to recover it in the end zone. K-State leads 31-25.
Kansas State still has a nice chance of going to the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl.
You're very high on Bishop, I know that. Quick toss to the flank. Brandon Streeter able to get it over to Mal Lawyer on the reception. And a gain of about 5-6 yards. Take a look at the South Carolina defense for you. John Abraham leads this team in sacks and quarterback pressures. The middle linebacker Andre Offing had to cover downfield last week at Florida. He'll make a lot of plays here today at the point of attack. And Homer Torrance, a strong safety, very active, is the team's third leading tackler. Gain of 5 on that play. Second down out of the shotgun for Clemson. And they're running. Witherspoon to the 40-yard line, got a first down. Terry Witherspoon is a junior from Monroe, North Carolina. 7-yard gain there.
You know, a lot of people believe you can't run out of the shotgun. You can. I mean, you really don't have to change a lot. Clemson says it can't run its toss sweep, but they can run the ISO, they can run the draw. You'll see the option tonight. You'll see a Utah pass, the power. and it really just spreads the field a lot. They have done a nice job of burning the football. You'll see them in this formation, not the shotgun, about 80 or 85% of the time.
We've got a 4 wide receiver set. Trips to the top of your screen. Nice throw to the sidelines, and Gardner on the reception, short of a first down gain of about 4 yards. Over in ESPN tonight, well, whether you're here at Death Valley or at Legion Field, ESPN's got the biggest college rivalries. Auburn's lost season can have some purpose if they can contain Sean Alexander and upset Alabama. Ron Franklin, Mike Godfrey, Adrian Karsten have the call coming up over on ESPN. Right here is 7-0 South Carolina. Coming up on 9 minutes to go in the first quarter. Brandon Streeter. Austin has running room. First down to the South Carolina 44-yard line. Travis Austin.
Pardon me, the key to that is that it wasn't coming end over end and high as a kickoff. This is one of those little dink passes. And this is what you're going to see a lot from both sides tonight. Streeter feels the pressure, has the presence of mind to move around and buy time, even though he's crippled and he only run about a 4.9 or a 5 flat, but he drops it off, and Austin picks up nice yardage.
22nd reception. New Clemson record for running backs in that department. First down. Streeter. And they're running out of it. Travis Zachary on the carry. He's a freshman from Marietta. Andre Offing made the stop on the play. And you look at Streeter, and again, Clemson using a lot of shotgun formation. This is primarily over the history of the school, been a running school, right, Dean?
Well,
I mean, this is kind of unusual to see a shotgun formation at Clemson.
Times have changed. Steve Ensminger says that he may go out tonight, with it being, of course, his last game here as well, with a record number of passes. The record, I believe, is 67, so hold on.
Streeter. Quick toss, and they were trying to hit Brian Wofford. A lot of traffic in there. They were jammed up by Cecil Caldwell. Part of the reason they put the shotgun in here, Dean, was because Streeter suffered an ankle injury toward the end of spring practice, and this has really handicapped his offseason preparation. It gives him an opportunity, number one, to be back in the pocket, to look downfield quickly and get the ball away.
Well, you can see your receiver so much better from back there. Also, when he's injured underneath center, it just takes him quite a bit longer to get to handoffs, and obviously it takes him longer to get back in the pocket.
Travis Austin alongside of Brandon Streeter. 3 wide receivers set for Clemson. Third down. First down. Mal Lawyer on the reception. Homer Torrance makes the stop near the 31-yard line. Make it inside the 30-yard line of South Carolina's 17-yard gain.
Mal Lawyer on a crossing route, and a super job by Streeter of hanging in the pocket, feeling the pressure and delivering it on the money. Mal Lawyer, nice catch. Watch the pressure coming. He knows it's coming, knows he's going to get the hit. Double team.
First and 10, football to the 27-yard line of South Carolina. Witherspoon trying to bounce to the outside and roped down by Kevin Brooks. Brooks with good pursuit. 7-0 South Carolina. We are in the middle stages of this first quarter.
South Carolina defensively will not come with a blitz a lot. They will run a lot of zone defense in the secondary, and they're a bunch that has not played as well as they would like this season. Part of the reason is that they do not have the depth up front. Down linemen are about as hard as any position to recruit. I think quarterback is probably the most prominent and most difficult, but defensive linemen come in second.
That's what Brad Scott said. It's been tough getting good defensive linemen to South Carolina. Quickly to the flank. Ben Fleming on the reception, gain of just a couple of yards.
Well, that's great defense there by the field corner, Kevin Brooks. 2 yards, you'll give that up anytime. Tonight, South Carolina has to do a terrific job of tackling, because Clemson, if they throw it anywhere close to the 67 times that we kind of threw out there as a possibility, a lot of those will be the short variety where there'll be yards after catch.
South Carolina's going to wing it too, so we could be here tomorrow morning. Third down. Streeter. Streeter now looking to run. Penalty marker down. Maybe for a man downfield illegally or a hold. And then another late flag coming out. Streeter brought down by Andre Offing.
That is good defense. Another Gamecock down, but that's good defense on South Carolina's part. Not only with the pass rush, but also in the secondary, forcing Streeter to hold it, and do something he doesn't want to do. That guy right there doesn't want to run the ball too much. Certainly scrambling like that.
Absolutely. Andre Offing, the linebackers down.
We have holding against the offense. We have illegal participation for 12 men on the field against the defense.
No wonder it was great defense.
You know, it's a lot better when you got 12 men instead of 11 out there, Dean. Lewis Johnson's down on the sidelines. Lewis, what do you have for us?
Just a few moments ago, Wayne, we saw South Carolina linebacker Darren Brooker go off the field. Well, here he is behind me on the bench. You see he's got that ice bag on his ankle. Well, he has a bad sprain. Trainers just told me a moment ago that he is done for the day.
It's another injury they don't need.
Well, both teams, as often is the case with losing teams, have suffered an inordinate number of injuries. Hopefully Offing will be able to get back in for South Carolina because the linebacker position they're already missing Offord.
Third down once again. 3rd and 8. Streeter. Nice throw and catch down to the 6-yard line. Marcus Martin on the reception. Kevin Brooks, the man they worked out. He made the tackle. And an 18-yard gain to the 6-yard line of South Carolina.
Hey, I'm telling you, Streeter put this one on the money to Martin. Now, in college ball, many times there are large spaces. Stop it right there. Look at that defense. Look at that defense. That ball did not have a window of but about 6 inches. That's the way pros play defensively. That's a great job defensively. Just offense beats defense sometimes.
First down and Streeter under center. Bailey in motion. Zachary tried to escape to the outside. Good pursuit provided by Marco Hutchinson. Redshirt freshman out of Atlanta, Georgia.
He who hesitates is late, and that time Zachary hesitated in the backfield. Might have been better trying to use his speed to get around the corner.
Lost about a yard in that play. Under 5 minutes to go, first quarter. Clemson trying to answer the opening drive of this game by South Carolina. 80-yard scoring drive. 2nd and goal. Short drop Streeter. The fade. They're going out for Marcus Martin, the 6'3 receiver, in the corner of the end zone, and Kevin Brooks had the coverage on him. Brooks about 5'9", so that's what they're trying to do, the little jump ball in the corner of the end zone right there.
No question. That's what they exactly are trying to do. It's interesting that Chuck Reedy is the guy calling the plays for Streeter here, as you see. And Reedy is a run guy. You know, he was at Clemson for many, many years. And this is Brad Scott, you see. But Reedy's the offensive coordinator who at one time at Baylor had a game where he threw 0 passes. So it's a nice combination here.
Streeter. Little shovel. Austin. Touchdown.
Austin's making up for those fumbles he had a little bit earlier. We mentioned the Utah pass, and that's the way you do it.
Tommy West just an extra point away from getting this ball game tied up. Javis Austin, who mishandled a Pooch kick twice before this drive began, ends this drive in the end zone, and the extra point is through the uprights. So each offense has had an opportunity, and each offense has gone the distance. Javis Austin from 7 yards away. We're tied at 7.
This simple-looking device is the key to discovering your hidden potential. It can change the look and shape of every line and curve on your body. Because it's the weight, the challenge, and the secret behind one of the most effective fitness machines in the world. Introducing the Bowflex Power Pro. Bowflex uses patented power rod resistance to give you an incredibly smooth, natural feel for over 60 different health club quality exercises. With features like a built-in aerobic rowing exercise, convertible grips, and convenient folding capabilities, it's easy to see why a Bowflex was selected by Fitness Magazine as the best home gym. It's time to get the results you want with no money down and payments as low as $33 a month. Call right now for your free video and brochure and discover the look you've always wanted with the Bowflex Power Pro.
An NFC West clash. Saints, Niners, ESPN, Sunday Night Football.
Man, New Orleans. I've always loved New Orleans.
When have you ever been to New Orleans?
You know, when I was a young fella, I was king of Mardi Gras.
You know what I like? Jambalaya.
You are the king of hokum. That's what you are. King of malarkey. The Sultan of bunk.
ESPN Sunday Night Football. The Saints against the 49ers.
No, I was the king of Mardi Gras.
Clemson and South Carolina tied at 7 apiece. Wayne Larrabee along with Dean Blevins and Lewis Johnson. There's the scoring drive, and the man who capped it off a shovel pass from Brandon Streeter, Chavis Austin.
You know, we had a feeling we might have a heck of a game here, and I think that's exactly what we're going to have. Both teams taking the ball and driving it the length of the field in impressive fashion.
Smith, again, good leverage and depth into this kick. Boone Williams had a thought about coming out of there, but 5 yards deep, thought better of it. And South Carolina will start at its 20-yard line. This week, ESPN's newest tradition, Friday Night Fights, comes to you north of the border in Montreal. Middleweight Stéphane Oulet from Quebec takes on Ontario's Davey Hilton. Not just college football has burning rivalries, but boxing as well, plus a special look back at the greatest fighters pound for pound. ESPN2's Friday Night Fights. Well, the Clemson Tigers had something to cheer about a little bit here, and so has the Gamecock. First down, South Carolina. Anthony Wright remains at a quarterback. We'll see Phil Petty a little bit later on tonight. There's the out pattern and a good decisive throw to Zola Davis underneath the coverage on the far side of Alex Ardley. It is a 12-yard gain and a first down.
Now the offense is working the way this guy, Brad Scott, wanted it to work when he hired Chuck Reedy. Chuck Reedy went to South Carolina. Now he had been at Clemson as an assistant from 78 to 89. He's a run guy. Brad is a pass guy. He says, let's put it in the air. Reedy did, though, play a game where he was not going to, where he didn't throw the ball at all the entire ball game down at Baylor. So it's an interesting mix, isn't it?
It sure is. But really of late, South Carolina's been more of a passing team. Hambrick sheds the defense out to the 45-yard line. A first down on a 13-yard gain. Charles Hafley made the stop.
Clemson may be missing Chris Jones, their outstanding linebacker, because they're getting great blocking up front against their linebackers and frontmen, particularly Neesmith, a terrifically talented young fullback, number 40. We'll watch him tonight. He is a slasher, a great blocker, good enough perhaps to be a tailback next year.
Inside handoff. Look at the kid fight.
Hey.
Freshman Antoine Neesmith.
He just heard me call his number.
You went on the play calling for this game?
Yeah.
There's a look at his numbers.
They're struggling. They're struggling over there at South Carolina, but it's not that bad.
No. And that kid may end up playing some tailback next year.
Right. He has a pleasant demeanor about him. He's kind of smallish for a fullback, a little under 210 at 5'10". True freshman. A lot of potential.
8-yard gain. 2nd and 2. Neesmith again, inside handoff, first down to the 45-yard line of Clemson. Nothing fancy here, just some good old-fashioned quick hitters. And a first down for the Gamecocks. Take a look at this, Dean. It's a little bit of a surprise. South Carolina came in here the underdog into Death Valley to face Clemson. And so far, they've been able to control things. And I go back to what Reggie Herring, the defensive coordinator of Clemson, told us emphatically at the end of our meeting yesterday. He said, whoever runs the ball better in this game wins. Whoever controls the line of scrimmage in this rivalry game gets it done on the field at the scoreboard.
Reggie can say hello emphatically.
He sure can. Jamel Kelly on the reception. Antoine Edwards made the tackle.
Kelly on an inside route here has a lot of cushion. Antoine Edwards is playing, but not playing like Antoine Edwards normally plays. It's a hamstring. It's nothing else that's keeping him from playing the way he would like. But this guy was a freshman All-American a season ago. Hasn't had quite the season they expected him to have, but a nice play there.
37 receptions coming in. Take a look at the quarterback numbers so far tonight.
Good start for both of them. And we will see 4 quarterbacks tonight.
Anthony Wright needs a timeout as he gets up to the line of scrimmage. Just a little bit over 2 minutes left to go in this first quarter. South Carolina takes its second timeout of the quarter. So Wright heads over to visit with his head coach, Brad Scott. And on the sidelines for us tonight is Lewis Johnson, as I've been mentioning, but I don't see him down there. Lewis, where are you?
Hey guys, I'm over here across the street. You know we're here in Death Valley, and I tipped out real quick to just look for something that referenced death, you know, Death Valley. And this is what I found. It's called the Graveyard. These tombstones represent wins over top 25 teams. Now take, for instance, this win over Virginia back in '92. Clemson was down 28-0, but in the last 32 minutes, they scored 29 points to beat Virginia. But this is the baby that got this graveyard started. Against Florida State, Clemson wins in Tallahassee, and it's notable that Florida State has only lost once at home since then. So, Wayne, let me throw this thing back to you, and I'm going to hustle back across the street and get back to the game.
Okay, thank you very much, Lewis.
Well, when Lewis says hustle, he can do it because he's a former track guy. It's about 4 strides for him to go that 200 yards.
The last team, if I'm not mistaken, to beat Florida State at Florida State was Miami. I'm not sure what happened. Florida was close late this evening in that ball game down there in Tallahassee. Little play action. Intercepted. Hafley, the safety. Penalty markers laid on the play out of bounds. Hafley went out of bounds near the 17-yard line, picking away the pass by Anthony Wright. Well, pending the outcome of the flag, these two teams have only combined for 8 interceptions between them, 4 by each defense. This one, depending on the outcome of the flag, would be the first of this ball game.
Well, Hafley made a nice play on this. He's another one of the young guys. He's also another one of the high school quarterbacks that has been signed here by Tommy West and is a versatile athlete. That time it was double coverage. That's just a bad decision by the quarterback right on that play. You have double coverage with Hafley and also Antoine Edwards. We're going to stop it here in just a second. The quarterback should see right here. There's 3 guys. There's 1 in white and 2 in orange. That's not where you want to throw the football.
So it is a first down off the penalty now out near the 29-yard line. Brandon Streeter, Mal Lawyer unable to haul it down. And the coverage on the flank provided by Homer Torrance, the strong safety. Take a look at this now. These two teams interceptions down this year. Both teams came in -12 on the turnover table. They commit too many and they don't force enough.
Well, these are a lot of reasons for that. They flat out dropped several at South Carolina. I think that they haven't gotten the pass rush at times that they would like. But that's inexcusable. You just cannot win forcing that many. There's no reason. That shows you why both of these teams are tied at 108 in turnover margin.
Lots of time. Streeter. Now the throw and the catch, and it's a first down. Brian Wofford's first reception of the evening. 12-yard gain across the 40-yard line. Make it a 13-yard gain.
Trust me. stop it right there before we go. This guy does not want to get into a game too much of this. He'd prefer to stay in the pocket, but Steve Emsminger does a nice job here of allowing him to come around. He feels the pressure, gets outside, even though he's not as mobile as you'd like. When you can throw it with that type of accuracy, you can get away with throwing it from anywhere.
And Wofford is the big play man on this Clemson ball club in the receiving corps. Witherspoon skirting to the outside. You don't see that called often for the fullback in your offense. Homer Torrance made the stop on the play. Just short of a first down, it appears, for Clemson.
Well, they've given it to him about 50 times this year, so at least he gets to see it more often than most fullbacks do. This guy's quite an athlete. Now watch him here. He's a guy who can bench press 412 pounds and vertical leap 34 inches. And Wayne, he almost keeps his feet here for this to be a really big play. But it's nice nonetheless.
Not the carries, Dean, but the type of run they call.
That's right.
It's a little unusual to see that big burly fullback out there.
Exactly right.
8 of 9, 2nd and 1. Play action. Streeter lots of time. Over the top. Wofford is there. Just overthrown. Ooh, Wofford was ahead of the field that time, wasn't he?
Yeah, and you know, not many times do you have opportunities for big plays, and you just have to capitalize in close ball games on big play opportunities. Now, one thing that Brandon Streeter was thinking was that you don't want to underthrow this, and he didn't.
Lewis Johnson.
Wayne, South Carolina has already lost one linebacker in Darren Brooker. Now look at number 36, Andre Offing. He's over here with the tender left knee. He's been talking to the trainers. As you can see, he's hobbling. I have no definitive word at the moment, but we got to watch him. But South Carolina may be struggling in the secondary.
Illegal procedure, the call. Well, Offing's the second leading tackler on the South Carolina defense. So that would be a big loss if he can't come back. False start apparently against the Tigers. Moves the football back. Just over 60 seconds to go in this first quarter. Tied at 7 apiece. A little backyard brawl going on down here in the Deep South. Death Valley Memorial Stadium, Clemson, South Carolina. 2nd down. The reverse to Mal Lawyer.
Boy, it's set up.
Set up well enough to pick up a first down near the 42-yard line of South Carolina. Sheldon Brown forced him out.
Well, you do this to a defense that over pursues. South Carolina flows with the movement to the offense's right. And that sets up the play for the reverse.
And a 10-yard gain to a first down.
It looked like that one had a chance for a moment to go the distance.
Sure did. Tommy West looking on. There's Mal Lawyer, been somewhat of an all-purpose man here tonight, getting that reverse call. He's been obviously one of the targets in the receiving corps. Streeter again overshot the receiver, Justin Watts. Sometimes when that quarterback gets moving to the near side and he lets that ball go to a receiver on the near side, you get just too much momentum, don't you?
Yeah, it's a more difficult throw. Right for a right-hander is easier than the other way. This guy is impressive with the touch he has on his football. He won't miss many balls like that. That was a little rub or a little pick that Clemson likes to run. Had a receiver open and should have picked up 5 or 6.
Over the last 5 games, he's been red hot. 82 of 149, 969 yards passing for Brandon Streeter.
That's about what Drew Brees at Purdue does in a game.
That's true.
You see his numbers?
Unbelievable. I've seen him several times this year. Zachary on the carry there for about 4 or 5 yards, and Kevin Brooks made the stop. You're right, and he is an outstanding young quarterback up at Purdue. I believe they won today.
They did.
Arch rival.
They did. We
Indiana.
had them on an ESPN game earlier in the year that he threw 83 passes and completed 50 up in Wisconsin, and it wasn't enough to beat the Badgers.
You guys started that game on a Saturday night, didn't finish till Monday afternoon.
That's right.
3rd down. Let's see what Brandon Streeter tries here. 3 receivers, bottom of your screen. Wofford trying to come back for it. Boy, that had a lot of mustard on it. Unable to hold it down. Karis Sullivan, the defensive back, applied the hit on the play, and Wofford is still down.
Clemson is going to have to come up with something deep. I tell you, South Carolina's doing a nice job on the intermediate and short routes.
And this is the type of play that you hate to see as a wide receiver, that high throw coming back for it with a defensive back bearing down on you. So it'll be a 4th down as they check over Wofford. And he just got spilled on the play.
You know, Wofford is the guy that you mentioned is a big play guy. He's a big guy that can make the plays run after he catches the ball. But watch him take the spill here. Totally legal defensive play. It's a physical football game anytime you come over the middle. And he didn't back down. Hopefully he'll be able to return because we want him to be healthy, but also Clemson needs him in the offense.
Wofford up pretty much under his own power.
Could have been the win with that type of a blow.
The Clemson trainer, Doc Hoover, and athletic trainer Fred Hoover, in his final game here at Clemson. He came here in 1959. Frank Howard, the legendary head coach, hired him. We heard about him a little bit earlier. He was carried off the field before the game tonight. 4th down punting situation,
and he wasn't hurt.
And this one, is it going to back up enough? Apparently it crossed the plane to the goal line. It'll come out to the 20-yard line. Laird almost able to place it inside the 5-yard line. First quarter comes to a close. Split decision so far.
You can't see anything in a car. You can't see past the guardrails in a car. That's why we only sell trucks.
Look, Mommy, a tugboat.
Really? In the water?
Yeah.
Not tiny little cars.
Mommy, birds.
Wow.
We prefer the view from the look outside and see the world as Suzu Trooper.
Look, Bob, a space shuttle.
Because you never know what you might miss in a car.
Turn the pizza around. It's stuffed crust. You eat it backwards.
Hey.
Carry on.
In case you forgot, you're supposed to eat stuffed crust backwards. With a ring of cheese baked right into the crust, it's the most fun you can have with the pizza. Right now, a large one topping is only $9.99. Pizza Hut, the best pizzas under one roof.
Would you like to work here?
I'm not housebroken.
Folklore has it, the spices they cook with in the West Indies are aphrodisiacs. As if in a place like this, you need any help. Royal Caribbean, like no vacation on Earth.
You guys are in here again? I can't believe this! You're always in here nursing your injuries. I have never seen such a group of cream puffs in my life. This is football! I need guys that can play!
Man, I thought he'd never leave.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light.
Hot dog, anyone?
Send your customers a FedEx package in 2 days, and it makes a big, big impression. Cost? Up to $11.
Send your customers a UPS package in 2 days, and it makes a big, big impression. Cost? Up to $11.
Send your customers a priority mail package in 2 to 3 days, and it makes a big, big impression. Cost? Just $3.
So, what's your priority?
Steam and rivalry here in the Deep South. South Carolina, Clemson tied at 7 apiece. First down for South Carolina from the 20-yard line as we begin the second quarter. And Clemson jumped off sides. We'll see if there was reason for it. Rogers ready.
Dead ball foul. False start against the offense. Movement in the line prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Dean Rogers Redding has been a busy man tonight sorting things out, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. And Clemson is going to start moving its linebackers and disguising its coverage a lot more. And that might have been a result of that. The thinking on Reggie Herring's part of Clemson is to confuse the quarterback. Show blitz, sit back and zone. Show zone, blitz.
Hambrick on the carry there. Let's take a look at the first quarter highlights. Anthony Wright got things started. First drive of the game. South Carolina 4-yard touchdown run by the quarterback Wright. Head to 14-play 80-yard drive. Then Brandon Streeter shovels Jevis Austin 7-yard TD for the Clemson Tigers. We're tied and take a look at the numbers. A little bit more on the ground for South Carolina so far. Second down here. Kelly to the 40-yard line. Anthony Wright threw a strike over the middle. 23-yard gain. Antoine Edwards had the stop.
Well, and that's what you have to do if you're South Carolina offensively. Wright has to get outside to his big play people. Kelly here because he's matched up in man coverage. Just a little slant, wide open, big play. That time against the 8-man front, and any time against an 8-man front. That's a vulnerable defense for the big pass play.
Double tight ends on the line, South Carolina. Troy Hambrick fumbled it. South Carolina got it back. Fumble on the play, recovered. The tight end, Trevon Matthews, able to get it back for the Gamecocks.
Well, turnovers have killed this team. They have 26 now in the season, minus 12 for the average. That's the bottom of the SEC.
Hafley forced this fumble. There's the hit. Watch this.
On the ball. Great tackle. Helmet onto the football. Don't know if that was intentional, but it worked.
Sure did. Death Valley Memorial Stadium, Clemson, South Carolina. Wayne Larrabee, Dean Blevins, and Lewis Johnson tied at 7 apiece. Carolina at second down. Not a whole lot there, but more than enough for the first down as, again, they go to the true freshman Antoine Nesmith out of Waterboro, South Carolina. So first down for the Gamecocks as, again, they move into Clemson territory. 5-yard gain. And again, it's been their ability to control things on the ground for the most part. It has allowed them to pretty much control the flow of this game outside of the first Clemson drive. Flea flicker. Got a man out there. Kelly tipped away beautifully by Hafley. The safety in the deep secondary, Charles Hafley. Pompano Beach, Florida, broke it up.
Well, I was about to say a moment ago that we were going to see South Carolina open it up. We felt the flea flicker was coming early to open things up. Why not? It's your last game. You practice these things all year long. There are a couple of other trick plays up the sleeves of South Carolina tonight. That play almost went for a touchdown, but a terrific last-second dive there. Great defense by Hafley after he appeared to be beaten.
2nd and 10. Hambrick runs to daylight to the 40-yard line. Troy Hambrick, 8-yard gain. As I mentioned, he has done very well in this matchup against Clemson over the years.
I think the early surprise is the nice job done by the offensive line at South Carolina and the success running the football.
It's a good instinctive run, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Kind of picked his way for 8 yards. 3rd down, about 2. Triple on. Neesmith, the fullback. They go to the second man throw. Very close to the first down. And with Steve Mixon, junior fullback, North Augusta, South Carolina. Howard Bartley, the linebacker, pierced through to make a hit. And are they close enough for a measurement? I don't think so. They're going to call it 4th down, about a yard to go.
Well, with the field goal kicking problems of South Carolina, this is a no-brainer. You go for it.
Yes. This is not a field goal team, no. South Carolina. They've missed 9 in a row. So here we go, 4th down. They've made one already tonight. Hambrick met behind the line.
And that's exactly what I was talking about before. 90% of the time you get it with a quarterback sneak. You hand it back deep. You give the defense a chance to make a play. Hambrick will get it 4 yards deep. And Clemson's there. Big play.
Imagine TV.
I don't know, Stu.
What?
First the kids star in their own movie. Now they're doing commercials.
I wouldn't worry, Dee.
But according to Dr. Lipschitz, if children experience fame too soon, it can go to their heads.
Come on, what's the worst that could happen?
Mr. DeVille, I'm ready for my close-up.
New Mercury Villager, now more room and more power. Preferred by grown-ups
and babies.
Whoa. Right hand. Nah, let's switch it to the left. Two hands. Nah. Dunk on him? Let's save it. Up. Here we go.
Dooley, it's Ross. Yesterday, I requested implementation of an active asset allocation for derivative securities, knowing full well that any reduction of the equity beta...
Let's face it, you're not always clear on a cellular phone. But now there's Sprint PCS, the only nationwide all-digital network, for a new level of clarity.
Just sell everything. I want to buy a ranch.
Sprint PCS.
With horsies.
The clear alternative to cellular.
ESPN2's presentation of college football is brought to you by Mercury. Go ahead, imagine yourself in a Mercury. And by Adidas.
Death Valley looked pretty calm from across Lake Hartwell, but it certainly is not. And there is Chris Jones. They'd love to have him on the field, the Clemson Tigers. The fifth-year senior, unable to go due to injuries, leg injuries. Clemson on offense. Javis Austin to the 45-yard line of South Carolina. 13-yard gain. John Stamper tracked him down.
Terrific job. 77. Watch this play. You talk about a hole opening up. Matt Butler, a fifth-year senior. This guy's played everywhere. He's played right guard, left guard, center, even played some tight end as a junior. He's a guy that says technique is more important than strength. That was perfect technique from Matt Butler.
Now first down for Brandon Streeter and company at the 45 of South Carolina. Austin, the tailback, he gets the call. Nice move by Austin. Pickup of about 5 down to the 45-yard line.
He'll take 5 yards every time you can get it. Mr. Butler had his man 5 yards down the field once again.
Kalimba Edwards on the stop. It is a crisp, cool night. Temperature hovering around 50 degrees. Clear skies overhead. Better than 80,000 on hand here tonight in Death Valley.
Offensive coordinators keep hair on their head when they have 2nd and 4 to call instead of 2nd and 9.
Out of the shotgun. Streeter. A little bit too wide of the mark for Mal Lawyer to catch up with it. Kevin Brooks the coverage.
And a little receding begins on 3rd and 4 now.
Oh, it does, yeah. Yeah, nothing that a little tonic, a 5-yard gain on 3rd down wouldn't cure.
That's right. Streeter had his man. He's 8 of 15. Off to a pretty good start. He's had some receivers open. He's missed, though.
3rd down. 4 wide receivers set. Streeter under pressure from Abraham, scampers out of there and slides to a stop near the 21-yard line of South Carolina. A late flag on the play. A first down, a late flag thrown. South Carolina seems to believe it's against Clemson. Tommy West hopes not. Brad Scott, on the other hand, has a different view. That man's view is all that counts.
It's against Orange.
We have an illegal block in the back against the offense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run.
Illegal block in the back. And they penalize from the end of the run, he mentioned, which would give Clemson a first down nonetheless. But instead of being down near the 22, they're back at the 32-yard line.
Cole might have come late right here. Yeah, it had to have on number 17. Call was against Marcus Martin on a call down on a play that really didn't need to happen.
Running out of the shotgun. Zachary to about the 38-yard line. Appeared to be a gain of 4 yards. Abraham made the stop on the play. Let's see if we can pick up that penalty on the previous play.
Well, Streeter slides in safe at third. Move the change. But Martin, unnecessary there. Not roughness, but unnecessary hit.
Sometimes it's hard to stop that momentum, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, especially when you're playing against your brothers from up the road.
There are a lot of kids who played high school football against one another in this game here tonight. Clemson now second down. Streeter. Austin couldn't haul it in. Harney had pretty good coverage. Kenny Harney on the far side. It looked like a good pass, but again, the running back may have been screened on this play.
I think he short arms this as a receiver. You've got to catch that ball. You know, running backs, you're not a receiver. He's caught a lot of balls. And a quarterback's going to be disappointed. He knows that's a perfect pass. He threw it in the perfect spot. But you're throwing to a running back and not a receiver, and you can't expect them to make those types of catches with regularity.
Clemson's been pretty good on third downs tonight. Streeter drills it underneath. Gardner to the 16-yard line and a first down. Corey Atkins, the linebacker, made the stop. 13-yard gain. And Dean, you see more and more the offense is trying to work on these linebacking cores.
Yes, they are. Underneath. Linebackers are dropping deep. That's an underneath route that is open, and you can look for Clemson to come back in the middle of the field with the underneath routes. Carolina will sit back and zone in the secondary, and their linebackers will end up actually in more man-to-man coverage with running backs.
Inside handoff, Witherspoon denied at the 15-yard line. Gain of barely a yard. Mid portion of that defense there. Atkins flowed from the linebacking core. Laurel Johnson, the defensive tackle, also in on that stop. Coming up on 8 minutes left to go in this first half. Each team scored on its first offensive possession, but that's been it tonight. The defenses have been in control since. And take a look at this fairly long drive by the Clemson Tigers. Second down. Streeter on the roll. Has a man open. Wofford makes the catch at the 13-yard line. Kevin House escorts him to the chalk marks. It'll be third down coming up off a gain of about 3 or 4 yards.
Now, Wayne, one of the reasons these teams have had bad seasons is that they have not had big playmakers. And tonight, I think we're seeing an example of that. While they're having success in moving the ball, you're seeing 12 and 13 and 14 play drives. They're nice, but you'd like, you know, Florida State, for example, those teams have players who bust out of there, and you have a lot of 2-play drives.
Brad Scott mentioned that they have to grind it out, do the South Carolina Gamecocks, and so does Tommy West and his offense. And that's what they're trying to do here. Third down. Streeter throws a strike. Gardner in traffic on a leaping grab. Outstanding throw and catch. First and goal inside the 5-yard line. Ray Green had the coverage.
Boy, I think this is a great reception. It's a nice job of locking into it. And on third down, you have to make that reception to move the chains. That gets you inside. This ball is thrown a little bit behind him. Superb concentration. And with the ball whistling in, that's not an easy catch.
Well, he had Ray Green coming up from behind him when he went into the air for that ball. Gain of 10, first and goal. Clemson trying to take the lead for the first time tonight. Zachary could not spring loose. Tackle made by Earl Rochester, and he would not let go of the ankles of Travis Zachary.
So that time, Corey Hulsey, the right guard, watch him here. He'll pull number 71. And he's a little slow, and that's the reason that play didn't work. It looked like it had a chance to develop. But that's why offensively you have to have 7 men working in concert with one another. One of them doesn't get there at the right time, and the play's ruined.
Loss of 1, second down, goal to go to 4. Choo-choo in motion. Austin going wide. Touchdown! Jarvis Austin, 4-yard touchdown run.
Feast or famine for number 5. Most backs would probably not get in the end zone on this play. But he's either going to drop a pass or a kickoff, or he's going to make a spectacular play. And this time, it's redemption time for Jarvis Austin.
David Richardson for the point after. And the Clemson Tigers, with 6:28 to go in this first half, have taken their first lead of the game on the second touchdown run of Jarvis Austin.
Imagine TV.
I don't know, Stu.
What?
First the kids star in their own movie. Now they're doing commercials.
I wouldn't worry, Dee.
But according to Dr. Lipschitz, if children experience fame too soon, it can go to their heads.
Come on, what's the worst that could happen?
Mr. DeVille, I'm ready for my close-up.
New Mercury Villager, now more room and more power. Preferred by grown-ups
and babies.
Hey, you want real action? Turn on HBO. Because there's real life, and then there's the movies on HBO.
C'est si bon de partir n'importe où, bras dessus, bras dessous, en chantant des chansons. C'est si bon de se dire des mots doux, de petits rien du tout, mais qui en disent en langue.
Hokies and Cavaliers, a season-ending, bitter backyard rivalry for bragging rights.
College game day at 11. Virginia versus Virginia Tech at noon next Saturday on ESPN.
Bragging rights for the state of Oregon on the line in Corvallis. Ducks and Beavers. Achilles Smith rolling to his right and finding Tony Hartley in the end zone for the touchdown to give the Ducks the 7-3 lead. Back to Wayne and Dean in Death Valley.
Thank you, Mike. Right here, Clemson has taken the lead for the first time tonight.
Well, Achilles Smith is a heck of a player. He makes plays so routinely for Mike Bellotti out there at Oregon. We know that Kansas State is a winner again, and Bishop does as well. But there you see a 12-play drive, 58 yards, and Austin gets in for the second time tonight, Mike.
Boo Williams hasn't had a chance to return a kick here tonight. Don't forget, next Saturday on ESPN and ESPN2. 11 a.m. College Game Day on ESPN, followed by a noon kick for 18th ranked Virginia, number 20 Virginia Tech, great in-state battle from Blacksburg. And then over on ESPN2 on the Deuce, 3:30 p.m., number 2 Tennessee against Vanderbilt. Balls tuned up for the SEC championship game at 9:30 p.m. on ESPN. 11th ranked Michigan against Hawaii. A long road trip for the Wolverines, who fell to the Buckeyes at Columbus today. First down, South Carolina. Gamecocks trailing for the first time tonight. Oh, nice touch pass. Kelly could not hang on. Had the coverage beaten to the far side of Robert Carswell. And Anthony Wright just didn't quite get it there. But I'll tell you, he should have had this one, Dean.
Well, he should have. Once again, you're locked in man-to-man coverage. You have a blitz coming defensively, and this is one that Kelly wants to have over.
Yep, Anthony Wright did get it there. I stand corrected.
You know, I don't think anybody over at Clemson, over at South Carolina expected Anthony Wright to be in the game right now. Phil Petty is a terrific backup. A redshirt freshman who has tons of potential, and I think most people felt he would take the majority of the snaps, but Wright has played well.
Anthony Wright looks to make a play and throws it away. Had to be pretty good coverage downfield by the Clemson defense. It'll be 3rd and 10 coming up for South Carolina. There is Phil Petty, and we expect to see him at some point here tonight. He's the redshirt freshman, Boiling Springs, South Carolina.
Yeah, you know, this is the biggest game of his career. He was really hoping that this might be a breakthrough type game that would catapult him to a big next year. Who knows what he'll do in the game. He'll probably see some time, but Wright has played well.
Quarterback comparison.
Streeter's put it up 19 times, so they're well on their way. I think the record was 55 coming into the season of most passes by a Clemson thrower, so he's not far behind that record pace.
3rd and 10. Wright goes to the safety valve. Hambrick would have to get it on his own. Edwards meets him and cuts him off at the pass. 4th down off a gain of about 3 yards.
Clemson staff is being fired, but Reggie Herring is no reason for it. He's a defensive coordinator. More on that in a moment. Lewis?
Hey, guys, we talked about the South Carolina linebacker problem. We saw Andre Offing come off the field a few moments ago. Look, here's Booker on crutches. But now Offing has a problem with his left fibula. You know, that's right below the knee. He's done for the night. They'll x-ray him at the halftime. Guys?
Kick is away. Zachary was back deep. This one takes a South Carolina bounce, and at the 41-yard line, Clemson in good field position in its own territory will get it back. Clemson plays on the lead with 5:22 to go in the half.
This simple-looking device is the key to discovering your hidden potential. It can change the look and shape of every line and curve on your body. Because it's the weight, the challenge, and the secret behind one of the most effective fitness machines in the world. Introducing the Bowflex Power Pro. Bowflex uses patented power rod resistance to give you an incredibly smooth, natural feel for over 60 different health club quality exercises. With features like a built-in aerobic rowing exercise, convertible grips, and convenient folding capabilities, it's easy to see why a Bowflex was selected by Fitness Magazine as the best home gym. It's time to get the results you want with no money down and payments as low as $33 a month. Call right now for your free video and brochure and discover the look you've always wanted with the Bowflex Power Pro.
Folklore has it, the spices they cook with in the West Indies are aphrodisiacs. As if in a place like this, you need any help. Royal Caribbean, like no vacation on Earth.
Clemson defensive coordinator Reggie Herring is an emotional, involved, intense guy. He's been in coaching 18 years, says he's never been fired, coached with great coaches like Jimmy Johnson and Pat Jones and Pat Dye. This guy was terrific at practice the other day. He actually played quarterback at the end of practice and got in there at linebacker and told him, here's how Dick Buckets would do it. He's something else, isn't he?
He sure is. On play action now, Lawyer in the open field of the circle route to pick up a couple of extra yards. Gain of 8 out near the 49-yard line of Clemson. Good start to this drive for the Tigers.
Streeter, play action. Yeah, you can run out of that shotgun, so now South Carolina has to respect it. Not a lot. They're playing the flanks a lot on the outside. Streeter's really having to work for his yardage for the most part.
Out of the eye on 2nd down. Marcus Martin in motion. This is Zachary. Penalty markers down early. They hold up the play. That would tell us that it's against the offense. They're right out there at the paw. That big old Tiger paw in the middle of the field here.
Well, there's almost
a ball foul. False start against the offense. Movement in the offensive line prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
You know, you can see the paw there behind the ref. They're right there. that's sort of become in vogue. That's your turf. And there was almost a little fracas before the game here today, as you might know there was one in Florida. At Florida State. The Seminole on the field had a couple of 3 players ejected, and you know, Florida lost a player before the game. I guess that was a bad omen.
Second down now off the penalty for Clemson. 2nd and 7 from the shotgun. Brandon Streeter. The quick throw to the side and wide of the mark. Lawyer, the intended receiver. Sullivan had the coverage, and we go to Mike Adamle.
All right, Wayne and Dean, back to Corvallis we go. An update on the Oregon State game. Beavers coming back against the Ducks. Quarterback Jonathan Smith. Watch him air it out across the middle to Greg Ainsworth. He goes the distance, 76 yards in all, and the Beavers now back on front, 10-7.
You know, Mike Riley is a good football coach.
Yes, he is.
He has done a nice job with that program. It's not easy to win at Oregon State.
That turf look wet to you? Is it always raining up there in Oregon?
It rains a lot.
Third down. Streeter again goes to the side and too tall for his wide receiver. Boy, I tell you, throw like that will get a wide receiver killed, and Wofford unable to haul it down. Back to Lewis Johnson. Lewis.
Hey, Wayne, quarterback Phil Petty for South Carolina now starting to warm up on the sideline. You know, coaches told us this week that Petty would come in to replace Anthony Wright, 3rd, 4th series. It's gotten a little farther than that, but they want to get him some more game experience, so I imagine we'll see him pretty soon. Wayne?
You know what? They want to give him game experience for next year, and in fact, they said after one of the midseason games that that's why they did it. But as Clemson gets this off with no problem, but they also want to win the game. I think they believe he gives them a great chance to win the football game.
Boo Williams made the fair catch at the 20-yard line, just short of the 20. That's where South Carolina will put it in play with 3:52 to go in the half, and Clemson on top.
Hey, Gordita fans, check out the Gordita Supreme. Seasoned ground beef, a blend of cheeses, cool sour cream, and freshly chopped tomatoes, all on warm, pillowy flatbread. Just 99 cents. We're making one for you right now. Better hurry.
Can't this boat go any faster?
Big Bob's exterminating. Spiders? Oh, we do spiders. Scorpions? I love the challenge. Centipedes? Centipedes are our speciality. The queen centipede. Bring her on.
The bugs are back. Centipede on CD-ROM. Take on 5 all-new worlds or play classic style. Get your hands on Centipede for PC CD-ROM.
Maybe we could talk about this?
When sports cream? When legs are sore. When backs ache. When muscles hurt. Wise Sports Cream? Rubbing it in brings fast pain relief. No medicine-y smell. Wise Sports Cream? Because it works.
On December 4th, Norman Bates will be watching Psycho. Rated R.
Well, I'll tell you something. Where I'm from, up in Big Ten country, 51 degrees isn't very cool. But down here, you need the heater once it turns 51. South Carolina's had 5 drives now. All have started on their own 20-yard line. And Phil Petty in a quarterback. And the toss to Hambro. And dogged pursuit on the defensive front by Gary Childress.
You know, Petty's a guy that has a ton of potential. He's 6'3", he's around 200 pounds, 193 when he weighed in, and he's a big, strong kid. Got a lot of confidence for a freshman. He can move around well. Now, he doesn't have a gun as an arm, but as a former quarterback, I can tell you that progression and timing and accuracy, those types of things are underrated, and velocity is overrated. He can still get the ball there, but the other intangibles are more important.
Yeah, you were a wishbone quarterback, right?
Well, I still do it a little bit.
Oh, nice throw, nice pitch, and catch down the sidelines. Zola Davis on the reception, and a pretty rollout throw by the quarterback, Phil Petty.
Well, and timing is everything. That's the perfect point here. This is a ball, most of the time in college, you're going to have receivers that have a nice window of opportunity, to use a political term. This is a ball that You know, Zola Davis has 5-6 yards on the defense. Good timing, nice ball to get some confidence for a quarterback who isn't lacking in any, and Phil Petty.
21-yard gain to match the number on the receiver's jersey. First down. Hood in motion. Hambrick coming at the defense. And over to make the tackle, Keith Adams, the linebacker. Pickup of about 5.
A pickup of 5 yards on the play. It's 2nd and 5 at the
Brad
38.
Scott, his team has lost 9 in a row after a season-opening win over Ball State. In his 5th season at South Carolina, he's had some strong recruiting classes over the last 3 years. Will he get a chance to coach those kids? We'll find out. They'll have a meeting next week at South Carolina. Everyone will know by Thanksgiving, I would assume.
I had heard a good source drop the name of Lou Holtz, and then I heard that was reported also earlier tonight as he has been contacted.
Hambrick cut down as he tries to skirt to the outside once again. And again, it was Keith Adams in on that stop. Along with the
Keith Adams, a good player. He rotates in there with Childress, and he is another one of the true freshmen. He's a 200-pounder. He can fly. He's a guy who will really, as time goes by, he will become a much better player, but he is one of the future stars of this defense.
3rd down and 5. No gain on the previous play. Petty in the shotgun. The blitz is on. Nearly intercepted on the play. Donald Broomfield, the 6'4" senior defensive tackle, almost a rare interception for a lineman.
Now this is a play that could turn it around. You're going to see the defensive guys come from virtually everywhere, but 94 has a chance to make a play of the day. 6'4", 295. He can go if he just catches it.
Penalty markers down on the punt. That Karam's out of bounds in the neighborhood of the 30-yard line. Penalty markers way back where that kick was, way back near the line of scrimmage. And it's procedure against South Carolina.
You know, I talked to Broomfield after practice on Thursday the other day, one of the team leaders, and he said, we're going to go get this one for the coach. He said, we thought he was going to get one more year. We love this guy, and we're going to go get it for him.
A lot of sentiment on that Clemson team for this man, Tommy West.
You know why? He's believable. You know, just watching him with his players and the way he works with us. And I've known Tommy for a while. I know a lot of people who know him. He's a guy who is believable.
Not enough men on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still 4th down.
Not enough men on the line, apparently. So South Carolina will try it again.
Tommy's a pretty good athlete in his day. He played football and baseball at Tennessee, and then he was drafted by the Cubs and also by the Bucks. Played football.
Levitt just did get it away and gets good distance into this one. Zachary eludes the first man and the second. And chased out of bounds across the 25 near the 27-yard line. Back to the studio, Mike Adamle.
All right, thank you, Wayne. Coming up on the National Car Rental Halftime Report, #1 Kansas State, a scare for them, and the battle in Florida between the Noles and Gators. And we'll update you on what else has gone down in the ACC. Guys?
Thank you, Mike. We understand that battle between the Gators and the Seminoles started a little early this afternoon.
Yeah, 3 guys gone, 2 from Florida, and one of them was a starter. That hurts.
Ooh, it sure does.
But, you know, you can't do that. You just, there's no place in football for the shenanigans before a game or during a game.
Nice 49-yard punt by Levitt has pinned Clemson back inside its 30-yard line. Here's the pitch to Javis Austin, who's having quite a night. He's already scored 2 touchdowns here tonight and a gain of about 4 yards there. On the NFL side of things, coming up on ESPN, the Niners are in a tailspin. They take on the Saints. And then Monday Night Football on ABC. Dan Marino takes the Miami Dolphins into Foxborough to face the Patriots. It's a 4-way fight for the AFC East title. ESPN. I'll make that ABC on Monday night, ESPN tomorrow night for the Niners and Saints. Second down. Wide open, Javis Austin in the open field. First down across the 40, and the football taken away, but the play been whistled dead. The man who came away with it was Earl Rochester, but the play had been whistled dead. Well, wait a minute. Now they're saying South Carolina football. And they're going to have some explaining to do. There is a penalty marker down near the 30-yard line. Well, this will take all the powers of Rogers Redding to figure out here with his crew. That ball was,
oh, that's huge.
Taken away by Earl Rochester.
Against the offense.
Well, I think he's trying to say if it's indeed South Carolina's ball, there's a penalty against the Orange. You decline it, and the ball goes to South Carolina.
Again, Earl Rochester came up with it and motored toward the end zone. Now, was he down?
Well, and the other thing is, if the penalty was before the play doesn't matter. It is Clemson's ball, so that might be the discussion.
We have an illegal formation against the offense. Not enough men on the line of scrimmage. That penalty is declined because the fumble was recovered right here. We also have a dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct against the white team. 15-yard penalty from this spot. They will retain possession of the football. First down.
Now that's complicated.
I'll tell you something. That's almost like negotiating peace in the Middle East. Right. Here it is right here. There's the recovery. Earl comes up with it.
Great strip. Great strip.
Earl Rochester. Now he is down by contact. Apparently right there is what they ruled.
Well, and then
they marked the penalty off from there.
Okay, bottom line now. Southern Cal, or excuse me, I look at the USC. I knew that was going to happen once tonight. South Carolina now has the ball 60 yards away from scoring 7, and could, if they could kick a field goal, they could draw to within 4 points at 14 to 10. But it's a nice turnaround for them to give them an opportunity.
64 seconds to go in the half. South Carolina, 1 timeout remaining. Phil Petty got about 7 yards out of that.
Number 14, Phil Petty on the quarterback carry.
Donald Broomfield made the stop on the play. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, Mike Adamle, John Makovic, the National Car Rental halftime report. And boy, there is a lot to report on today. Good day in college football.
Pardon me, Anthony Wright wasted 2 timeouts earlier, confused. That might come back to haunt them.
Petty under pressure. They're going to throw a flag on that?
They did not throw a flag. He's got a receiver in the area, and you can throw it that way. You don't have to throw it the conventional way overhead.
He was getting some heat from Broomfield and James.
Hey, this is a heady freshman here. Now watch him, 14. He knows he has a receiver over here, feels the pressure, knows that there are some 35 seconds on the clock, and he's throwing it to his man right there. That's overhand. That's legal. That's not a fumble, and that's not... Yeah, that works.
It sure does. Looks for a 3rd down to 3.
No grounding there.
Rushes on. Petty hesitates, buys some time, and takes a big loss. Dogged pursuit by the middle linebacker, Harold Means, a junior from Spartanburg, South Carolina. He got his man.
Clemson comes with 8 men, and look who in the secondary is doing his job. Edwards.
Yep.
Well, you know, Edwards can play off of him like that because the quarterback is running backwards and has no chance to complete that ball.
High snap, but Levitt able to get it away. And Zachary takes near the 30-yard line, where Clemson will put it in play one more time. 32-yard punt, but no return. 14 seconds to go in the half, with Clemson on top 14-7.
Tigers escape right there with the turnover. That would have been a great one for the Gamecocks to be able to take advantage of.
We haven't been able to take advantage of anything since the opening drive of the game when they went 80 yards to score. Anthony Wright on a 4-yard touchdown run. Let's see if the Tigers try anything here. They've got the quarterback under center, Brandon Streeter. Travis Zachary, 1st down and more to the 46-yard line.
That's one for the stats. You always want them to call your number when there's 5 seconds to go in the half.
17-yard gain. Ray Green made the stop.
You know, you throw in a few 17-yard gains, that bumps that average up by about a half a yard.
Sure does. Right now, the Clemson Tigers nearing halftime have a 7-point lead.
Their dream started early.
With the third pick in the draft, the Arizona Cardinals select from Florida State University. Andre Wadsworth. Atlanta Falcons select from Georgia Tech. Keith Brookings. Cincinnati Bengals select from University of North Carolina. Brian Simmons.
Last year, 7 of the first 19 players drafted by the NFL were from the Atlantic Coast Conference. Their dreams came true. Watch the future stars of ACC football this weekend.
My purpose is to establish a high seminary of learning.
Imagine a place that could grow from such a vision. A university where tomorrows are created every day. Right here in Thomas Clemson's backyard. Clemson University. Imagine the possibilities.
Kids are having a good time here in Death Valley, even those visiting from Columbia. 1st and 10 at final 7 seconds of the half. Out of the shotgun, Streeter takes a look downfield. Mal Lawyer absorbed quite a hit from Ray Green, but has a first down inside the 35-yard line and 1 tick left. 18-yard gain.
Great throw and catch. And what he does is he gives his field goal kicker a chance to knock one home. That's that old prevent defense.
Well, David Richardson is the field goal kicker. His long this year is 42 yards.
He'll be at about that. He'll be placing it at about probably the 41.
His career long is 52. That came last year when he was 26th in the nation in field goals per game. 13 of 15 for the season with a long of 52. Football is just inside the 35-yard line. And there is David Richardson. An excellent junior year and somewhat of a disappointing senior season here at Clemson. Ranked 2nd to Donald Igwebuike in career field goal mark.
Nicely done.
Well, I knew him at Tampa Bay. So
Yeah.
it's the old NFC stuff.
You're a veteran.
Took a few years, but, you know, we're not the quickest of learners up there.
Put him with Miyake and you'd have you a heck of a night.
You'd get done saying those two names and the 4th quarter'd start. Well, Tommy West hoping to add to this lead. His team on top 14-7. 1 second remaining. 51-yard field goal attempt. David Richardson. Kevin Laird will hold it. Here it is. No good. So halftime has hit here in Death Valley. Fred Scott's team scored first. Tommy West's team has scored twice. And it's the Clemson Tigers who have a 14-7 lead at halftime. Let's return to our studio and Mike Adamle.
All right, thank you very much, Wayne. You know, we got the greatest seat in the house. We get to watch all these games on a rivalry weekend. I'd love to be tailgating right now on it live at one of these places.
You know what's great about these games? These teams aren't going anywhere. 80,000 people are packing the stadium. You know why? It's 60 minutes of football, but a lifetime to remember.
Almost every place where there's a college campus and a football field on this Saturday, a ton of 60-minute football, including Kansas State. They received a scare today from Missouri. Back with the halftime report in just a moment.
Like a Harrier, aircraft carrier. You a fly. Don't be so perplexed. Got me the rugged proportion of DMX. I got moving air underfoot. See, never mind. Others if they don't mind me. I'm leaving the mark, showing individuality.
How's that new Reebok Run DMX 6 feel?
Banging, man. They hot, man.
You fellas gearing up for a 10K?
For every action, there's foot action.
Imagine TV.
I don't know, Stu.
What?
First, the kids star in their own movie. Now they're doing commercials.
I wouldn't worry, Dee.
But according to Dr. Lipschitz, if children experience fame too soon, it can go to their heads.
Come on, what's the worst that could happen?
Mr. DeVille, I'm ready for my close-up.
New Mercury Villager, now more room and more power. Preferred by grown-ups
And babies.
Sweet dream, baby. Sweet dream, baby. Sweet dream, baby. How long must I dream?
Sweet dreams from Doubletree.
This halftime report is presented by National Car Rental. So what are you waiting for? Let's go.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mike Adamley along with Coach John Makovic, and welcome to the National Car Rental Halftime Report. Well, maybe the best game on this weekend of rivalries. Kansas State, #1 in the country, against Missouri in Columbia. Kansas State led 17-13 in the third quarter. Michael Bishop pitching to Frank Murphy for the touchdown. K-State pushed their lead to 24-17. They trailed 24-16, I should say, when Corby Jones hits John Dousman for the 20-yarder. They missed a two-point conversion, trailed by 2, tried for a dramatic comeback. Jones's pass falls incomplete to Dousman, and the Tigers fall once again for Kansas State, their 19th straight win. And for Missouri this year, John, boy, you talk about a hard luck team. They've lost to Ohio State, Nebraska, Texas A&M, and now K-State. They were ahead at halftime in all 4 of those games.
Yes, they were. Kansas State won the football game, but Corby Jones won the hearts of football fans who saw this game.
Kentucky at Tennessee, #2 in the country, down in Knoxville, Tennessee, 10-0, and the Kentucky players wearing that patch in honor of their teammate who died last Sunday, playing with a heavy heart. T. Martin playing well. To Peerless Price, great one-handed catch that led to a Volunteer touchdown. Now we turn to the second quarter. Vols up 14-7. T. Martin here, this time avoiding the rush. Watch him go around the outside and throw this bomb to Cedric Wilson. 55 yards, great concentration. Vols up at that point, 21-17. They go on to roll 59-21, even in the loss for Kentucky. 7-4, their best record since 1984.
They are. Don't let the numbers for Kentucky mislead you. Anyone who wants to pass the ball on Tennessee will find out it is very difficult to move the football on that defense.
The crosstown rivalry, USC versus UCLA. Bruins have won the last 7 straight. They trailed, however, in this game in the first quarter until Cade McDowell took over, throwing deep. Circuit catch. He's been doing this all year long. Danny Farmer. UCLA driving, and then on the same drive, McNown here to Deshaun Foster. Nice little move to get into the end zone, put the Bruins up 7-3. Move now to the second quarter. Bruins up by 4 in a tight game, and then Foster breaks it open. He's got great speed, great acceleration, 66 yards in all. The Bruins go on to beat USC 34-17. That is now 8 straight. One more game for UCLA to go, and that's in 2 weeks against Miami of Florida.
They are, and everyone talks about UCLA's defense. I'll tell you what, they had 7 turnovers today, and nobody in the country does more with takeaways than they do, and that led to points today and won the game for them.
The battle in the Sunshine State, the Gators, the Noles. 2 teams thinking, well, hey, forget about the game. Let's brawl beforehand. It wound up costing a player to be suspended. Tony George, Gators cornerback, he got tossed. But later Marcus outs and pressured there and fumbles the football. Now watch this again here. What happens is the Gators' Jared Warren did have possession. They say he lost it, and so instead of a touchdown, it wound up being only a safety. Didn't matter. Marcus Outson here. Throws it, deflected by Marquand Menyel and picked up by Peter Ward. Great moves. What a year this man has had. He should be the Blitnikoff winner, finest receiver in the country for all the things he can do, like this right here. Off the flanker reverse, the touchdown pass to tight end Ron Dugans. 46 yards for the score. The Seminoles go on to beat Florida by a count of 23-12 to run their record to 11-1. Don't be surprised if this team winds up in the Fiesta Bowl for the national championship.
Well, they could, but I'll tell you what's disappointing. The fight before the game's ridiculous, and I think both of these schools need to make a stand. It will take both of them acting together. They'd have to cut this stuff out.
We have seen that happen far too many times. All right, Arkansas and Mississippi State. Houston Nutt, what a fine year he has done with his Volunteers, trying to bounce back from that tough loss last week against Tennessee. But Bulldogs quarterback Wayne Matkin here to Kevin Cooper just gets the first down, and that sets up this with 10 seconds left to go in the game. Brian Hazelwood from 27 yards out. He had already converted on 4 field goals. That one, you can't tell from that angle, but was perfect, and that wins it for Mississippi State. The Bulldogs can earn a spot in the SEC championship game with a win over Ole Miss on Thursday night, the game that will carry on ESPN. Once again, the final 22-21.
I think Mississippi State's the most underrated team in the Southeast Conference. They have the benefit of one of the easier schedules, but they have great athletes. They play terrific defense, and that's what keyed them today.
The big game in Columbus, Ohio. Michigan and Ohio State. Joe Germain trotting out onto the field for the final time. It was senior day. Lloyd Carr trying to get his Wolverines back into the Rose Bowl for a second consecutive year. What he saw, some sloppy special teams. Derek Ross with the block on Jason Vincent's punt. The Buckeyes recover, and Ohio State capitalized. Next possession, Germain, watch him hit David Boston for the 30-yard score. He wasn't talking trash this year. He was walking the walk and talking the talk. John Cooper finally does it at that 1-8-1 hanging over his head, but not today. The Buckeyes win impressively 31-16.
This was Ohio State's finest hour of the season. Not only did they do it on offense, but on defense, they held Michigan to 4 yards rushing. And when is the last time you've seen a Michigan team have to throw 56 passes in a football game?
Not in this game, ever. Ohio State had to wait to find out if they were going to the Rose Bowl. Wisconsin wanted to go to the Rose Bowl. All they needed to do was beat Penn State. Watch Wisconsin's Nick Davis, no score here in the first quarter. At the 19-yard line, bounces it to the outside and goes the distance, 81 yards in all. Wisconsin's special teams, a very important factor in this game. Second quarter, Badgers leading by 7. Mike Samuel in the corner. Great catch here by Chris Chambers. Makes the diving catch. Wisconsin up 14-zip. They go on to win at 24-3, and yes, for the second time in 4 years, the Badgers, or 5 years, I should say, the Badgers are going to Pasadena.
Yeah, Wisconsin could not handle the team speed of Michigan on natural grass, but playing at home on the turf was a big advantage for them today, and that allowed their defense to shut down Penn State.
And for Wisconsin, their first 10-win regular season in school history. LSU at Notre Dame. Fourth quarter now. Notre Dame by 1. Jarius Jackson to Rocky Nelson for the touchdown. Irish up 39-34. Now 53 seconds left in the quarter. Craig Hall will hit Abram Booty down the sideline for 33 yards. Fourth down now, 25 seconds left, same drive. Hall, however, can't get the snap from center. Todd McClure, Hall drops back, and he is nailed. Jarius Jackson would take a safety, but the Fighting Irish go on to win it. Bob Davey, you think he's not happy? 39-36 the final. LSU does not qualify for a bowl. Notre Dame undefeated at home for the first time since 1989.
Yeah, this game had so many missed kicks in it and snafus in the special teams that special teams coaches wind up in the funny farm watching these films.
Well, coming up on the National Car Rental Halftime Report, more from the top 25 as we roll on in just a moment.
Work piling up?
Let's go!
That's the perfect time to declare a national holiday.
Let's go!
National Car Rental is declaring every day a national holiday.
Let's go!
With our great holiday rates, you can escape to the outdoors.
Let's go!
Or the golf greens. Or just about anywhere else by renting a midsize from National in Florida or California for only $159 per week. At this rate, you can't afford to stay home. So call National Car Rental now.
Let's go!
And declare your own national holiday.
Let's go!
To test their latest parka, Mother Gert Boyle and son Tim head for the mountains. Columbia Sportswear, one tough mother.
Oh, college football, Hawaii, Hooters. Hi, I'm Lee Corso. How'd you like to be my bud at the 1998 Hooters Hula Bowl this January on Maui? Hey, it's easy. Go to any Hooters restaurant, predict the winners of my top college football games of the week, and then compete to be my bud in Hawaii.
Anything else, Lee?
Whoa, being my bud ain't bad.
Welcome back to the National Car Rental Halftime Report. Conference USA action. Tulane and Houston in the Dome. Tulane here. Sean King going through teammate John Wilson's hands, but caught by Kerwin Cook. He goes 30 yards. That put the Wave up. At that point, 20-13 later in the game. Here, King bobbles the snap, picks it up and fires to Juwan Dawson for the 15-yard touchdown. They struggled early, but they wound up rolling 48-20. The final there. They win Conference USA title outright. Next up, Louisiana Tech on Thursday.
Tommy Bowden is going to get a lot of votes for Coach of the Year.
Miss elsewhere in the SEC, Georgia a winner over Mississippi 24-17. Oregon and Oregon State out in Corvallis. Keely Smith here, 19 yards to Damon Griffiths. His second touchdown pass of the game. The Ducks on top of the Beavers 14-10 at halftime. And Air Force, a huge win for them. They clinched the WACS Mountain Division title with a 22-16 win over Rice.
There's plenty of good football ahead for them. Oregon State's lost 3 close games. This one looks like it'll be a close one as well.
In the Big East, number 24 Syracuse, a huge winner over Temple, 38-7. They host Miami next week with the Big East Championship on the line. Rutgers, they had a great season, but they fell to mighty Virginia Tech, 47-7. The Virginia Tech defense, 2 interceptions for touchdowns they returned. In the ACC, Georgia Tech, a big winner today, 63-35 over Wake Forest. Immediately after the game, they accepted a Gator Bowl berth. Duke, North Carolina. Carolina wins at 28-6. The final there, and North Carolina State runs their record to 7-3, 35-21 over Maryland. Torrey Holt, 79 receptions this season, an ACC single-season record. Back with more in a moment.
It comes in a flash and leaves in a heartbeat. It's opportunity. If you own a business like I do, you know all about it. You either jump all over it, or you get in the long line of shouldas and couldas.
Opportunity? It's $1 million idea.
For me, it was knowing when to go out on my own.
Or finding a tool that makes doing business easier. The Gold Corporate Card for Small Business from American Express.
It's easy to apply. Call now.
The card started as a way to simplify bookkeeping. Today, it also provides savings at Kinko's, FedEx, and other businesses. And our dedicated Small Business Services Group offers savings on health and dental care, as well as equipment financing.
They do all that so I can stay ahead of the curve.
It's easy to apply. Call 1-800-SUCCESS.
Let American Express give your business the power to do more.
Welcome back to the National Car Rental Halftime Report over on ESPN. The Iron Bowl, Auburn and Alabama. Auburn fullback Keith Evans, the 1-yard plunge over, up and over. Auburn now leads Alabama as Bill Oliver clapping and liking what he sees, 17-0. That game now in the second quarter. Well, today's top performers on this rivalry Saturday, they were impressive indeed. We start with Florida State, and maybe the best wide receiver in the country. I think he is.
He did everything today. He ran, he passed, but the big thing is Florida State had to have him. Peter Warrick not only caught a pass, but threw one for a big play touchdown.
David Boston, not bad for Ohio State, 10 receptions and 217 yards to go with 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, super freshman Sean Foster, 127 yards, 4 touchdowns in this game.
Brian Hazelwood, the kicker for the Mississippi State Bulldogs, 5 field goals to give the Bulldogs a chance to get in that SEC championship game.
And congratulations to UConn. First 9-win season ever, and hopefully a shot in the Division I AA playoffs. And write-in candidate Mickey Andrews, Florida State defensive coordinator. What a great job those coaches did with the Florida State defense.
Today's top performers here on Rivalry Saturday. A lot more to come on the National Car Rental Halftime Report.
As you get closer, your eyes get wider, your heart beats faster, your determination grows strong. This is not gonna beat you. Oh, it's loud, and it's dirty, and yeah, it's big, but so are your plans. Hey, John Boy, you ain't in Kansas anymore. From here on in, every day's gonna be a test. Those who pass deserve a great beer. Sam Adams, it's what's inside.
You jerk! I never want to see you again. Oh!
Savan, soft 100% cotton pants. They're the only pants made with Process 2000, so they don't wrinkle. which means you'll always come off looking good, no matter what you've done.
The NFL on prime time on ESPN. Sunday Night Football on ESPN. The Saints against the San Francisco 49ers and the incomparable Jerry Rice. And then ABC's Monday Night Football. Dan Marino and the Miami Dolphins travel to Foxborough to take on Drew Bledsoe and the New England Patriots. The 115th edition of Yale Harvard, and Yale wins it by a count of 9-7. Big win for their coach, Jad Sidlecki.
And these games are just as important. These players aren't headed to the NFL, but the big rivalry games mean something.
Indeed they do. It is halftime in Death Valley right now, and the Clemson Tigers on top of South Carolina. Back 14-7, back with the second half kick in just a moment.
It's amazing. All of this is now on the internet.
But getting on the internet takes forever.
Reading War and Peace takes forever. Getting on the net with AT&T WorldNet, fast.
War and Peace, Russian literature, aisle 3.
Yeah, but going online can cost you an arm and a leg.
AT&T WorldNet will not cost an arm and a leg.
Anatomy, aisle 7. I spend all day searching and searching.
AT&T WorldNet is like having your own personal guide to the internet.
Travel, aisle 1.
Finally, your internet is ready. With AT&T WorldNet, you can email friends or chat and make some new ones. Surf the web. There's even child safety software. And your own personal startup page, all for just $14.95 a month. And if you call now, you can get up to 10 of the latest software titles free. So call now.
So, you're saying AT&T WorldNet is the fast, easy way to get on the net?
Bingo!
Games, aisle 6.
I know he means well.
Fast, easy, AT&T WorldNet service. Your internet is ready.
My classroom is out there, where scientific theory and reality collide. We actually work with an organism that tracks pollutants from the oceans to ourselves. My research team is made up of some of the brightest minds in the country, and they're half my age. The University of South Carolina. There's a world of opportunity right here.
Welcome back to Memorial Stadium, Death Valley in Clemson, South Carolina. Wayne Larrabee along with Dean Blevins. Good to have you with us. Lewis Johnson down on the sidelines for us. Well, Dean, we got the first half we expected. Both teams in this backyard brawl really fighting it out.
Well, they are. Actually played well. We've got 80,000 here, and it's for two teams that have struggled. This is a very good contest. Let's see some of the highlights as South Carolina had a chance early. As Wright improvises, he will get into the end zone. And they take a 7-0 lead. And then, Wayne, the biggest play of the first half comes. It's a bad call. Inadvertent whistle. Austin fumbled that. South Carolina could have had the ball on the 23-yard line and gone in to make it 14-0. But Austin gets the shuttle pass, and now it's 7-7.
And then right here, here's the lead score. Javis Austin once again, great second effort, reaches for the goal line. And Clemson has the lead here at halftime. And standing by with Clemson head coach Tommy West is Lewis Johnson. Lewis?
2-3. By winning the first two rounds, you've done that. Emotional control seems to be a big part of it. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I thought we did a good job. We got plenty of energy, plenty of emotion. I just wanted to keep it under control.
Crowd has been incredible out here, and your players have had some trouble early in the game, but they've still been able to hang in here.
Yeah, well, with us, we need to throw it and catch it and hold on to it. And then defensively, we got to tackle. We got to tackle better than we're tackling.
Okay, Coach, thanks.
Okay.
Lewis Johnson, thank you very much. And we're just about set to go here. South Carolina will kick to Clemson to start the second half. Courtney Levitt, who 3 years ago was the #1 kicker coming out of high school football. Brian Wofford, the principal deep back. There's a look at Levitt. Tried a pooch kick and kind of crossed Clemson up in that first half. Let's see what he tries here.
South Carolina's done this all year. They've had some angle kicking.
Another good leverage, short kick. Taken by one of the upbacks, muffed once again, now picked up. This is Brian Walford. He must kick a knuckleball, doesn't he?
This is unbelievable. Wofford has great hands, and so does Austin. They've muffed 3 of them. Statistically, Wayne, this has been a close first half. Rushing yards, almost identical. Passing yards goes to Clemson. Time of possession about equal. The biggest thing would be the turnover that we talked about that should have been called that did not go South Carolina's way. And then Clemson has gone 5 for 7 in third down conversions.
1 for 6 for South Carolina. They came in hitting over 45% of their third down conversions. First down for the Clemson Tigers. Football just short of the 30. Brandon Streeter. In the flat, Zachary was pretty well covered by Hutchison on the play. And it'll be a second down off the incomplete pass. Take a look at the leaders in this ball game thus far at halftime. Streeter 14 to 23, 144 yards. Austin was the big man in Clemson plans. Lawyer 4 catches for 49 yards. Second and 10. Javis Austin had a hole for a moment and they closed it quickly. Marco Hutchinson in on that stop.
And Marco Hutchinson playing well in place of Andre Offing, who went out early in this game. So South Carolina needing some depth to come through at linebacker. Marco Hutchinson, rather. You know, they've got a Darian Hutcherson, 31, and Marco Hutchinson. He played a lot last year as a true freshman, but really has strictly been a backup this year. He needs to play well.
They had those guys just to confuse us.
They're like Ham Jones and Lamb Jones in Texas.
You got it. They're down and 8 off the gain of 2 in the previous play. Streeter, tipped over the middle, usually gets intercepted. That time almost was caught by Rod Gardner, intended for Mal Lawyer. And again, Streeter's been awful high with his throws tonight on occasion.
Yeah, and coming out to start a second half, oftentimes you'll find quarterbacks, it takes them a series or 2 to warm up. And that was one that just flew on Streeter. Wide open. That should have been a 15-yard pickup.
Williams back deep. Laird just did get that away, and a penalty marker down, maybe for running into the kicker. And it's muffed by Boo Williams. He picks up, and he's brought down short of the 30-yard line. Penalty marker down, though, in the vicinity of where this kick was made. Tackle made downfield by Mike Seth, a wide receiver. 45-yard punt by Laird. What are they going to call? Holding against Clemson. So South Carolina will accept that penalty. As Brad Scott says, yep, back him up, make him do it again. We'll get better field position out of this yet.
Let's go, KB!
They had a pretty good rush on that time, and Kevin Laird did a good job of getting rid of it.
We have holding
kick
against the offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, replay, 4th down.
Now, this is a time, as a defensive coach, as a special teams coach, rather, you can come after the kicker. A penalty doesn't kill you.
Because it's 4th and a bunch. 4th and about 24 yards
Look
to
at
go.
this. All but one player right there. You got one guy back.
Laird under no pressure, however, gets away his kick.
Yeah, they don't go after him that time.
Boo Williams nabbed immediately, but he's already in Clemson territory. Just a 34-yard punt. Mike Seth again had the coverage.
Very conservative non-call there by the special teams people.
Don't forget, coming up next Thursday after your turkey feast, stick around for some eggs on ESPN. Superback James Johnson leads Mississippi State into Oxford. Hated rivals will battle for the golden egg, as well as bragging rights in the Magnolia State. Mike Tirico, Mike Godfrey, Dr. Jerry Punch from the historic Grove. Following Thursday game night, presented by Coors Light, all starts 7:30 Eastern on ESPN.
Jackie Sherrill's bunch plays for it all. They're going to have a chance to play for the championship if they win.
Going for it all to Kelly, and it's broken up. Penalty marker down. Alex Ardley had the coverage downfield. There is a penalty marker down near the line of scrimmage, and it may be for a hold on South Carolina, and that is the preliminary indication.
Wright's a little wobbly getting up. I kind of thought that Brad would go back to Wright because he played pretty well in the first half, but wanted to get Petty into the game, and he didn't have many opportunities and didn't do much with the ones that he had. And I'm sure we will see Petty again, but Wright is in there to begin the second.
We have holding against the offense, 10-yard penalty, replay, first down.
So Kelly heads back to the huddle. Actually heads back to the sidelines as they make some changes with the wide receivers. Fleming comes in to replace Kelly. 10 penalties on South Carolina for 50 yards. First down.
Ace formation. 2 tight ends, 2 wides, and 1 back.
Wright comes up throwing. Intercepted. Intercepted by Clemson. Touchdown. Howard Bartley. 48-yard return.
Well, they ran out of the ace formation. 47, bottom right of your screen, into coverage. Another poor decision, and that is really what has hurt Anthony Wright all season long. You can't throw that ball. Bad decision, big play, Clemson. And that will be one that, with South Carolina struggling to put points on the board at only 18.8 on the average for the season, that's going to be a big hurdle for them now. About to go to 20 or perhaps 21-7.
Celebration penalty on sportsmanlike conduct called on Clemson. So this point after touchdown will be a little bit longer, to say the least, than usual.
And that was from a backup player. You know, Bartley is the guy that plays behind Raheem Abdullah.
Here's the point after touchdown. And David Richardson puts it through the uprights. The Clemson Tigers take command with 13-16 left to go. Third quarter, it's 21-7.
Have you ever considered a career as a commercial diver? If so, there's no better school to give you the training than Divers Institute of Technology. Whether it's working on offshore oil, underwater construction, raising sunken vessels on a salvage job, or doing hull repair, Divers Institute of Technology has the staff, the equipment, and the location to offer real open water training. Divers Institute of Technology. Call today to start your career as a commercial diver.
Virtual. Yeah, listen up, mates. If anyone who can hit a bullseye, I'll buy you a steak dinner. Did I say bullseye? I meant a triple 20. Did I say triple 20?
For a meal that hits the spot every time, get to Outback Steakhouse.
Did I say blindfolded?
Romeo, oh Romeo, warum denn Romeo? Verleugne deinen Vater, deinen Namen. Willst du das nicht? Schwör dich zu meinem Liebsten.
Germans don't do romance. They do beer, Becks, the best of what Germans do best.
ESPN2's presentation of college football is brought to you by Lee Dungarees, Can't Bust 'em, and by the new 1999 TL, Luxury Performance Pick 2.
Old Green Tom. That's Thomas Clemson, the founder of this university. Well, I'll tell you, Howard Bartley, the interception return for a touchdown of 47 yards, and he has battled through a pair of ACL injuries in his career, and a senior from Decatur, Georgia.
Well, it was a great play on Bartley's part. They knew in practice the other day what to do against certain formations, and we'll show that play in a moment, but he was perfectly executing what they practiced in practice on Thursday.
Smith's kick is dropped, picked up by Bull Williams. And Nice return out across the 25 to the 27-yard line. Let's take a look at that last play.
Okay, there's your bandit. That's what this linebacker position is here. Strong side linebacker. And Bartley knows when he sees the release by the outside receiver that he is going to get leverage, get leverage, get leverage. I can just hear Reggie Herring screaming it in practice the other day. They ran that play over and over and over. And that's what repetition and good coaching is all about. Bartley's not a starter, but when he comes in, he's a guy who picks things up. He learns, so he knows where to go.
6 interceptions this season, 2 tonight by Clemson. So we've got half of what they came in with. Phil Petty in a quarterback now for South Carolina. The Gamecocks trailing for the first time tonight by a double-digit margin.
Yeah, and it's critical. You know, in this series, Clemson has had the better end of the series. And in situations like this, they have been the team that has come out and stuck it to South Carolina. And it's very important now, after giving up that quick touchdown, that South Carolina come back and put some points on the board. And it'll be up to Petty to get it done.
From the 30, 2nd and 8. Long count by Petty. And a short drop. Kelly has the first down up across the 38-yard line.
Petty is the guy that they're going to now. He's the guy of the future. Anthony Wright has been a great player at South Carolina for Brad Scott. He's a record setter. He's had 38 touchdowns, and that's only behind Steve Tannehill and also Todd Ellis, who's down on the sideline working some radio, I believe. But the future is Petty, and the future begins right now.
I think so. From the 38 and first down, play action. Petty under pressure. He got it away, incomplete. Going for the tight end, Trevon Matthews. And it'll be a second down coming up, and let's go down to the sidelines. Lewis Johnson.
Wayne, you know, this week we talked with South Carolina head coach Brad Scott, and he characterized this game as the final exam. He's told all of his players, you know, we've struggled in class, but the final exam can bail you out. And you can only imagine, being down how he is right now, he's hoping that this team can pull something together and maybe bail him out.
This redshirt freshman quarterback is the man who's got to start the bailing.
Yeah, and his other thing was let's finish strong. So you're 0-0 going into this last game.
Not much running room for Boo Williams out to the 41-yard line. The season by South Carolina began on a positive note with a victory in their opener over Ball State, but then a loss to Georgia. Marshall game, a close loss there. They didn't show up against Mississippi State. Tight game at Mississippi, and then a loss to Kentucky. And boy, once that snowball starts going downhill,
well, yeah,
it's pretty hard to stop.
You know, the Mississippi State game was a killer, 38-0. They philosophically changed what they were trying to do. Chuck Rudy was, let's run the ball, working some pass. Brad Scott's more comfortable in the Florida State background where he came from. Then they started trying to do two things, and that's a really difficult thing to do.
Petty again under pressure. Petty intercepted. Intercepted once again by Clemson, and down the sidelines with a convoy pulled down from behind is Michael Allen, a strong safety, a senior from Conway, South Carolina. 54-yard return. There is a penalty marker down.
Well, the penalty should be on the quarterback being past the line of scrimmage. Petty scrambles out after he feels pressure. He is beyond the line of scrimmage, so it's a free play for the defense.
And there's the ill-advised throw, the interception, and Allen is heading down the sidelines.
Well, he might have rejoiced a little early, but nonetheless, Kelly with the saving tackle there.
They've called unsportsmanlike conduct against Clemson. I'm not sure if we can get a look at that again. I believe the line of scrimmage. He was very close to the line of scrimmage when that play began.
Well, stop it right there. The line of scrimmage
is the 41.
Somewhere.
It's right here, 41-yard line.
It's right in there. Yeah, he's at the 40. So either way, that's irrelevant in the sense that the interception is made and it will stand.
It's first down out of the shotgun. Travis Zachary. Close to the 10-yard line. Kenny Harney made the stop.
And the last thing South Carolina's defense needed was for its offense to turn it over. Turnovers have killed South Carolina all season long. 3-1 tonight. -12 in the season, reminding you now that they are not 108th in the country. They are 109th in the country. 108th now belongs to Clemson. That means that only 3 teams in the country have a worse disparity when it comes to turnover.
Second down off the gain of 8, about 2 yards to go. And they come up running again out of the gun. Zachary fighting for the 10-yard line. Picked up about a yard maybe. Homer Torrance on the stop. Travis Zachary, redshirt freshman, Marietta, Georgia. Redshirted last year due to a severe ankle injury. Clemson leading 21-7, and you've got to wonder at this stage of the game, Dean, does South Carolina quit?
Oh, you're right.
You've got to ask that question.
Right. Critical play for them here.
Third down, about a yard to go.
Let's go, Tigers.
Martin in motion. Streeter on the keeper. I don't know if he got to it. He's close to that first down, just inside the 10. Didn't look like he made it.
That's that 90-10 ratio, although that was a long yard. I don't know if we throw that into that statistical category.
It certainly wasn't a short yard to go. This is interesting right here. Now, if you're Tommy West, what do you think? You've got
go for the
less than a yard to go.
Hey, Tommy says we got nothing to lose, except the game, of course. But he says we got nothing to lose. Hey, my job's gone. We're going to let it hang out. Let's go for it. We'd like to go for the jugular, make it a 3-touchdown game.
It is fourth down. Wofford in motion. Brandon Streeter. Zachary denied. South Carolina has answered. They turn back the Clemson Tigers and will take over at the 11-yard line. So, no, there's no quit in these Gamecocks here tonight, and the Tigers just found that out. Travis Zachary comes up short on fourth down, and South Carolina lives to fight another day.
Send your customers 2-day packages with FedEx and we'll deliver, even on Saturdays, for an extra $10.
Send your customers 2- to 3-day packages with priority mail and we'll deliver even on Saturdays at no extra charge.
Send your customers 2-day packages with UPS and we'll deliver. But not on Saturdays. Sorry.
So, what's your priority?
We gave it exhilarating performance and the ultimate in luxury. Because we believe a great luxury car should do more than just take people where they want to go. It should bring them to their feet. The new RL from Acura.
No words are ever exchanged. Just a chemical connection from afar. A click, a zap, then poof. Your destiny passes you by. How many times is she gonna slip through your fingers? How many more chances are you gonna get? This train is leaving the station, slugger. Are you on board? Or what? Every day's a test. Those who pass deserve a great beer. Sam Adams. It's what's inside.
T. Martin and the Versatile Vols charge into the hard-hitting D of the Commodores. Tennessee versus Vanderbilt at 3:30 next Saturday on ESPN2.
If South Carolina were ever going to quit, it would have been in the last play, down 14 points, 4th and 1. But watch Cecil Caldwell, number 96, right here, second man in. Watch him get low and get in the backfield. Football is about making plays. Cecil Caldwell, the best defensive lineman out there, a quick player, makes the play, and South Carolina is alive.
First down to the 11-yard line for the Gamecocks. Neesmith, the fullback, relaying the play to Hambrick, the tailback. Hambrick trying to go wide, and a great play along the defensive front made by Terry Jolly. Sophomore, Fort Valley, Georgia. Played quite a bit as a true freshman last year.
Yeah, Jolly, you see him there at the nose tackle. Slips in between, goes unblocked. That's a bust by the offensive line of South Carolina. Jolly's a nice player at 6'2" and 299. Played a lot last year as a true freshman and seeing a lot of playing time now in the rotation. But, you know, when you go unblocked, you're going to make a lot of plays.
Yes, there's always that. At a 4-yard loss, 2nd and 14 now.
Early Christmas for Jolly.
Yes, indeed. Betting on the handoff. Hambrick hammered down as a penalty marker flies. Oh my, he was turned back at the 15-yard line. Charles Hafley. Ooh, Hafley squared up the shoulders, got a shot on him. As I mentioned, there is a penalty marker down. It's against the Gamecocks. Hafley made a pretty big hit, and his coach.
Block in the back against the offense will penalize half the distance of the goal from the spot of the foul. Replay 2nd down.
But the hit deserves a replay, and listen to the hit Hafley gets off here.
You know, safeties and secondary guys, and Hafley in that position is playing the free safety position. You love to get in situations like that. Receivers over the middle or running back when he doesn't know you're coming, and get that form tackle on.
Off the penalty, 2nd and 16 for South Carolina. Gamecocks need a play here. Petty flushed and sacked. Loss of a yard or two. Raheem Abdullah blew up that play.
Abdullah's a guy that's only a junior, and I'm not sure that he's sure about what he's going to do next year. He's a guy that could go into the NFL draft, and he will play at some point. Would he do better by staying another year? I tend to think yes, as most players in college would, by staying for that senior season. But he's a guy considering coming out. He is a heck of a talent now, but I think he has room to grow, Wayne, and would go much higher.
3rd and 17. And they pile it up at the 5-yard line. South Carolina be forced to punt. So the Clemson defense rock solid. Dermont McKenzie on the stop there. And it's 4th down. An inside handoff in that situation. Too many folks in that zone. Now deep in his end zone, Courtney Levitt needs to get a big one away.
Same theory here. Go after the block.
Levitt gets good leverage into this kick. Zachary muffs it.
What's the deal on kicks tonight? That's the 6th muff we've seen, either on a kickoff or a punt. I mean, the ball's not wet.
54-yard punt. Take a look at it again, though, Dean. I'm not sure what
concentration. Concentration. You know, it looked as though his eyes were watching who was coming at him to tackle.
Donovan Norman was coming at him. The new edition of ESPN The Magazine is on newsstands right now. This is the college basketball preview. Elton Brand of the #1 Duke Blue Devils. Brand X on the cover. Plenty of info on college football and the upcoming Bowl Championship Series. ESPN The Magazine on newsstands now.
Great stuff in this month. Good story on Deion Sanders as well.
Lots of running room. Travis Zachary into Gamecock territory to the 46-yard line. Homer Torrance on the stop, pickup of 12.
Zachary gets a great surge by his people up front. Look at that job by the offensive line of Clemson. Cuts back on a field that I don't think it's very damp, but some of the South Carolina defenders are over pursuing, and he's able to cut back and gain some extra yardage. Again, very important. Total yards here in the second half, you'll see that Clemson is taking over. South Carolina defensively has to regroup and stop Clemson once again.
Out of the gun, Streeter. Streeter under pressure, able to get it away downfield. Intercepted Homer Torrance. Well, this backyard brawl, and here's a late hit out of bounds. Penalty marker down. This backyard brawl refuses to cease just when you think Clemson's about to take control. The Gamecocks hang in there.
Well, those are 2 losing plays for Clemson there, and they've made some plays tonight. You go, well, how do they lose as many games as they have? And then you come around and you see why. That's a losing play, a poor decision.
After the return, we have a dead ball, personal foul against the Orange team, 15-yard penalty, first down.
So off the interception and the penalty, South Carolina will start their next drive in Clemson territory. It's not over yet.
Baseball players know a lot about home equity loans.
So do football players.
At Superior Bank, we don't play games with your financial future. Instead, Superior has been helping homeowners for over 75 years, helping homeowners reduce their bills to 1 monthly payment and get the cash they need when they need it, even if they've had credit problems in the past. So if you're tired of playing games, call Superior Direct now at 1-888-678-7777.
If I said you could get your hair back free, get up to 65% off major hotels, plus save as much as $180 on American Airlines, you'd probably think I was kidding. Well, guess what? I'm not kidding. We're not about drugs or surgery. We're about adding real hair in with your own. So call 1-800-HAIR-CLUB now for your free brochure. Free hair, and for limited time, up to 65% off major hotels and up to $180 off American Airlines. Just prepay for a club plan, and the hair is free.
You guys are in here again? I can't believe this! You're always in here nursing your injuries. I have never seen such a group of cream puffs in my life. This is football! I need guys that can play!
Man, I thought he'd never leave. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Hot dog, anyone?
Dean, the essence of a losing play.
2 plays right here. The 1 will be by the quarterback. The 2 will be by the center. Let's roll it. We'll see the first by Brandon Streeter. He's a smart quarterback. He doesn't do this often, but he throws this one into coverage, and it's intercepted. And then his center, Jason Gamble.
Pass is grounded, incomplete, penalty marker down. And the quarterback, Anthony Wright, says he had a man down there, but there was no one really in a position to catch that football. Freddie James applied the pressure. Anthony Wright guilty on the penalty.
We have an illegal forward pass, intentional grounding against the offense, 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, loss of down, second down.
You know, good teams put people away. Back to the play where they had 2 losing plays. Jason Gamble, 73 here is the center. He will pursue, and this is a clear rules violation. Hitting the man out of bounds. Just a dumb football play. There's probably frustration playing a rival, but nonetheless, you can't do that.
2nd and 27 now. Anthony Wright trying to throw it away and does get it out of play. 3rd and long coming up, and boy, we're seeing some evidence here as to why these 2 teams have 3 wins between them. But Clemson has not won this year when they've turned the ball over at all.
Well, they've also not won when the other team has scored. Isn't that ironic? Both of their wins, they've shut out their opponents. Maryland in the first game, and then didn't they? Yeah, the Ball State game, they shut them out. So tonight would be a first for them if they were to win, which Clemson already had. Excuse me, South Carolina was 7.
3rd down. Wright going deep as a man out there. Catch made on a play. That's Kelly. Very close to the first down. Near the 38-yard line, make it the 39-yard line. A 26-yard pickup. They're a yard short of the first down. Robert Carswell forced him out.
Good throw and catch. Clemson this time is in zone coverage and just late getting there. Secondary play for Clemson has been sketchy at times this year.
Reggie Herring, the defensive coordinator, says that one of the frustrations for him is that a lot of the big plays that have come against his defense have come when they've been in deep zone coverages.
Right.
And that's frustrating you. Sometimes you're going to get beat man-to-man coverage, but he's been getting beat in zone coverages, and that's been extremely frustrating for him. There's Reggie Herring right there. Well, Tommy West and his staff are coaching their final game here in Clemson, South Carolina. But Tommy West can leave with his head held high.
When you do it the right way, then you can walk out with your head up. Had we had problems with the NCAA, and we've as clean a program as there is in the country, had we had problems like that or off the field couldn't control them, then that would have really put a dark cloud over it. But I walk out with my head high, and I think our assistant coaches can, in that it was done the right way. We had a season where we didn't win enough games.
Well, most Clemson coaches in their final games win. As a matter of fact, the last 5 final games for these gentlemen you see here are all wins. But legendary Frank Howard, the most legendary of Clemson coaches, finished with a loss to these Gamecocks. Lewis, what do you have for us?
Well, Wayne, the South Carolina defense suffers another injury hit. This time it's junior defensive end Matt Marster suffering from a turf toe. Had ice on it, and now the trainers are taping him up. They're going to try to get him back in the ballgame.
It's 4th down and a long yard to go at the 39 of Clemson. Right. Maybe on his own. Gets the first down. Well, nothing has gone according to plan here tonight for Anthony Wright. But when he's ad-libbed a couple of times, like on the first touchdown drive of the game, a 4-yard run, and then again right here, he's been able to do some things and make some plays.
Play action. He's looking for the slant right there, but it's double covered. So he has to make plays with his legs. And his legs and ankles aren't like they used to be, but they're enough, Wayne, to make a play here.
And he got around Abdullah to the first down. Right on the rollout. And out of bounds. The catch made a sensational grab by Zola Davis, but he was out of bounds near the 10-yard line. Antoine Edwards was right there defensively for the Clemson Tigers. And take a look at his feet at the end of this play.
There's 2 good players here. Zola Davis is a guy a little over 6'1", matched up with a 6'1" defender, and Edwards will be in the NFL. Zola Davis makes a heck of a play here. 1 foot has to be inbounds, but it has to be all the way inbounds.
Inbounds, yep. Yeah, Antoine Edwards had the coverage pretty well measured, I'd say. 2nd down and 10. Hambrick running hard to the outside and close to the first down on a gain of 8 or 9 yards. Charles Hafley, who's played a very fine ball game at safety, made the stop for Clemson. Hafley is a redshirt freshman, and I'll tell you something, Dean, he looks like a good one.
Oh, he's really good. And he can run the football. Great attitude, great future in front of him. But on that play, you called it. He was a terrific blocker. Hafley is going to be a dandy as well. I was speaking of the fullback on the play. Neesmith really is going to be a fine football player. 40 White.
Play clock is down to 7.
You know what? They had confusion early. Wright may have to call another timeout.
He better right now, and he did just in time. South Carolina had to burn a couple of timeouts early in the ball game, and when it got down to crunch time late in the first half, they had only 1 timeout left. Well, they're down to 2 for the game with 4 minutes to go in the 3rd.
My name is Jim, and I am the beer man, and I'm proud to sell this Coors Light. So please do not call me beer dude. Don't yell beer jockey, barley boy, or suds buddy, and I'll be happy to pour you a frost brewed Coors Light. Stay away from Brew Brother, Captain Cup, and Sir Pour-A-Lot, and you'll get your Rocky Mountain refreshment faster than you could say Lager Lugger. I am Beer Man.
Hey, Beer Stud.
At BASF, we don't make the cooler. We make it cooler. We don't make the fishing line, we make it stronger. We don't make the fuel, we make it burn cleaner. We don't make the water scooter, we make it lighter. At BASF, we don't make a lot of the products you buy, we make a lot of the products you buy better. BASF.
South Carolina coach Brad Scott, his team trying to hang in there. Third down, about a yard to go. Inside the Clemson 30, quarterback sneak.
That's
Anthony
the way
Wright,
quarterback sneak. That's a serious quarterback sneak there. Sometimes the little guys do better than the big ones on those sneaks.
Well, they're harder to find for the defenders, you know.
That's right. I bet Doug Flutie's one of the all-time great quarterback sneak guys. That's just a suspicion. He's a gamer and he's a little guy. He'll find a hole. Sometimes those big guys just kind of lumber around.
Well, the officials have called for the chains, and they're going to ask for a recount. So they'll check it out.
Don't give him nothing cheap. Smart. Tackle.
8-play drive. And again, nothing comes easy for South Carolina. And they are just short of the first down. So another fourth down coming up. Fourth in inches, literally. Brad Scott was mentioning to us earlier this week that his team, they just don't have the explosive players, and thus they've got to grind it out play after play. And when you have to do that, Dean, when you don't get easy touchdowns or big plays from your offense, it really taxes you because you have to go so far, so many plays without making mistakes.
Yeah, exactly right. He's recruited well at wide receiver. Think about that Florida State mode. Right now, forget the wide receivers. Time to pick up the first.
Let's see if Wright tries another quarterback sneak. Yes, he does. He didn't need much. He didn't get much, but it should be enough this time.
You know, the wide receivers that Brad Scott has brought in can play for a lot of people. Davis and Kelly. Fleming's a nice player. Hood. And they're players who are guys that really have the Florida State type bodies. But you've got to make more plays than they've been making and the rest of the team.
Well, they didn't get a generous spot. And so once again, for a few moments, Coach Scott will have to pace.
Well, these are nice people around here, but you've been here for 3 days. Do you think South Carolina's going to get a nice spot in Clemson?
I don't think so. They did get the first down. Take a look at Brad. Brad's eyes as he watched the play. Look at the eyes.
Like eggs.
He was looking through some people. Clemson rush defense gives up just 105 yards rushing per game tonight. Already 105 yielded by the Clemson defense. Embrick. And not much there. Once again, Abdullah came to the flank of the defense. And he made the stop on that play. Maybe a loss of a yard or so. No gain on the play. No gain is how they're ruling it.
South Carolina is wanting and deserves a winner. You know, it's been 10 years since the Joe Morrison run of 87, 88 when they went 8-4, 8-4 since they've had a real winner. Scott won in his first year, but they're desperately wanting one in South Carolina.
Blitz is on. Wright being flushed. Gets it away incomplete. He was being wrapped up by Jason Holloman, a senior from Decatur, a sophomore from Decatur, Georgia. He'll be around a while, and the coaching staff very high on him. There he is, strapping outside player, defensive end. Famous alumni for South Carolina. Well, they've got a few of them.
Oh, you bet they do. Sterling Sharp, he play? How about Dan Reeves right there? He can play and he can coach.
Sure can. Doing a heck of a job down there in Atlanta.
He's a better player than I was an etch-a-sketcher there. We'll work on that.
South Carolina 1 of 10 on third down conversions. 3rd and 10. Anthony Wright goes down back of the 35-yard line. Means and Dingle meet at the quarterback. And it's 4th down.
You called it. That's what you say when you go to a defensive huddle. I'll meet you at the quarterback. This time Reggie Herring brings 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 men. And that's at least one too many for South Carolina to block.
There was a penalty down, but they pick up the flag and wave it off.
4th down.
2:30 to go in this third quarter. South Carolina has fallen behind by 14 points.
So what do? You struggle kicking field goals. You almost have to punt here, and I guess that's what they will do, but it's hard to do when you've only won one game and you're down 14 points. Percentage-wise, it's probably the play. But boy, it looks funny from the 34-yard line.
Courtney Levitt has put 8 inside the 20 this season. He's going for the corner. And gets a nice kick.
And that's why you play the percentages.
Boy, they had it well covered, didn't they?
I wonder how many South Carolina fans were sitting back there griping about not going for that, and then they down it on the 1-yard line.
Take a look at it again. Shaw Mays was in position to cover this 33-yarder.
Well, this is terrific because he gets it high enough for the men on the flank to get down there and cover it. They're in perfect position for the forward bounce. And now it's up to the South Carolina defense once again to give its offense a chance to get back into this game.
We showed you some famous Gamecock alums. Well, the Tigers have some fame on their side as well. Do you remember the refrigerator? William Perry and his brother Michael Dean. How about that? Both here at the same time. First down inside the 1-yard line. And the fullback Witherspoon to get an inch or two. Not much more. The mid portion of that defense right there. Speaking of the Perry brothers, who leads this program in sacks? Well, Michael Dean on top of the list. There is the refrigerator. William Perry, what a star he was. And on the 85 Bears that won a Super Bowl. And Dingle moving up the charts.
Chester McLaughlin, what a pro he's been. And, you know, when you think of Clemson football, you don't really think of the shotgun that you're seeing now. You'll think of that in the future, perhaps, if they win games doing that. But you think of the running game, you think of great defense and sacks.
Great athletes, you think about it, this program. Zachary played off the first tackle attempt, and that is covered up out near the 3-yard line. The first man to him was John Stamper.
So you might punt here. You might send your punting team on 3rd down in case it's a bad snap. They barely get out of the end zone here. That's a pretty good run to avoid a safety.
So let's see what Brandon Streeter and company do here, leading 21-7, but in precarious field position.
Do you have the courage, the moxie to put it on top, play action, go deep?
Clemson's 6 out of 10 on 3rd downs. Here's the toss into the end zone. Zachary comes out of there with it, but is not going to make the first down. Cecil Caldwell cut him off at the pass.
If Tommy West were to hear that question, he would say, what are you talking about? We're playing a team that may not score on us the rest of the night. They average 18.8 points. We've got 21. The way I figured, we're going to win if we just don't turn it over.
South Carolina scored on the first offensive drive of the game and hasn't had an opportunity to score since. Kevin Laird back deep in his end zone. Kevin Brooks to receive. Fair catch signal is up there. Oh, and it hit one of the Gamecocks. There is a penalty marker down on the other side of the field, recovered by Clemson. Or I should say recovered by USC. And it hit Donovan Norman.
Boy, that is really poor special teams play. They have a chance for a run back. Yeah, special teams, both sides have not been particularly good return games today.
They're sorting things out. Tommy West wondering, along with the rest of us, what they're going to come up with here. Flag thrown away from where the play ended. It sure is taking a while to see if everyone's on the same page. That's what they're generally doing in this situation.
I said that was a terrible special teams play, and I'm going to show you why. First thing you got to do is find where the ball is. Stop it right there. You've got my man here doesn't know where it is. Donovan Norman does not know where the football is.
It's the receiving team during the kick. The penalty will be 10 yards from the end of the kick. The white team will have the ball. We will extend the quarter for one play.
These guys have had to go deep into the plate. They're
rules book tonight. And I didn't catch what he said at the front end of that. I'm not quite sure what he was talking about. We were about to go to a replay on that, and I think that Tommy West is asking the same thing. What are you talking about?
At the 47-yard line.
But the Gamecocks will get the football. One more play left. No time left on the clock here in this third quarter.
Can't end the quarter on a penalty, so one more play.
The ball illegally kicked, apparently, by the receiving teams. The ball on Norman. He didn't illegally kick it. He just touched it. Over the middle. Nice throw and catch. Kelly inside the 40-yard line of Clemson for a first down. And that's how this third quarter will end. Clemson has assumed a 2-touchdown lead on South Carolina as we head into the final 15 minutes.
The new Acura RL has distinctive styling to appeal to your elegant side. A performance-tuned suspension to satisfy your assertive side. And a sophisticated front and side airbag system to protect both sides. The new RL from Acura.
EA Sports presents Cyber Lindros. If it's in the game, it's in the game. NHL 99. EA Sports. It's in the game.
How about lunch?
Yeah, let's go to a steakhouse.
Right. Then we'll buy a couple of sports cars and race to the coast.
No, I'm serious.
Excuse me, this is Wendy's.
Observe. Steakhouse bacon cheeseburger, please.
Make that two with baked potato and a side salad. He's buying.
Wendy's new Steakhouse Bacon Cheeseburger is naturally smoked cheddar and Swiss, bacon, and sauteed onions in a steak sauce, so it tastes like a cheeseburger you'd get at a steakhouse.
Please give my compliments to the chef.
Try Wendy's new Steakhouse Bacon Cheeseburger today.
Good evening, ladies and germs. I just flew in from Berlin and, boy, are my arms tired.
Germans don't do comedy.
Thank you. I'll be here all the week.
They do beer. Becks, the best of what Germans do best.
Nobody loves cars more than I do. Each one is a work of art. So when the maker of all these chose a new antifreeze, it got my attention.
General Motors now uses the deck school technology of Haviland Extended Life Antifreeze in virtually all its new vehicles. The same patented formula you can use in your car for 5 years or 150,000 miles. So do what GM did. Switch to Haviland.
I use it in my car. I only wish this were it.
Assume the comfortable position. Relaxation is achieved through extreme focus. Commence relaxation now.
Germans don't do laid back. They do beer. Becks, the best of what Germans do best.
Start of the fourth quarter coming up. Let's revisit the end of the kick. Well, we'll show it in a moment. But make that South Carolina up to the line of scrimmage on a first down. They're trying to get back to that kick a moment ago. Over the top right. Great catch made by his receiver, Zola Davis, inside the 10-yard line of Clemson at the 7. 30-yard gain.
Well, that's just a great throw and catch. Play action is what South Carolina came into the game wanting to do to occupy the linebackers. They get the corner route, and that's a perfectly thrown ball and a great catch. But Polite's in pretty good position.
Let's go, Tigers!
He turns on the first drop, just behind.
First down run on first and goal, and that's Neesmith, the freshman fullback, rumbling for a yard or two down near the 5-yard line. They're going to mark you to the 6, pick up a 2. And there is a look at Zola Davis, a senior from Charleston, South Carolina, leading receiver coming into tonight's game for the Gamecocks of South Carolina. 6th in the SEC in receiving yards this season, 670 yards. He's up on the charts at South Carolina. Second down. Out of the power line. Play action to Hambrick. Right on the roll and on the run. Denied the end zone, angled out of bounds near the 1-yard line where it'll be 3rd and goal to go. Gain of 6. Robert Carswell, the strong safety, forced him out.
Well, you feel for Wright. You can tell he's just not quite the runner he used to be, but he still makes a play here. This play is defended extremely well in the secondary. Wright comes out, feels the pressure. Bad angle there on the pursuit by Broomfield, who should have made the play at the 10-yard line. But credit Anthony Wright for once again making the play with his legs.
3rd and goal as South Carolina makes a bid to jump right back into this game in the opening 2 minutes of the 4th quarter. They're 1 for 11 on 4th downs. Making 1 for 11 on 3rd down, and here's the carry. Touchdown! Steve Mixon.
Make it 2 for 12, and the game is on.
21-13 now, 1-yard touchdown run.
Nothing fancy. Steve Mixon gets this game back to within 8, soon to be 7. South Carolina has taken advantage of the opportunity.
Their first scoring drive since the opening of the game. Levitt's extra point is no good. The kicking problems that have plagued South Carolina all season rear their ugly head here on an extra point attempt by Courtney Levitt. South Carolina, however, gets back into the game, trailing by 8 early in the 4th.
Most breweries in America were built in cities, but not Coors. You see, years ago, my great-grandfather had to choose. Either brew a good beer in the city or a great, refreshing beer up here. Good call.
To test their latest parka, Mother Gert Boyle and son Tim head for the mountains. Columbia Sportswear, one tough mother.
Oh.
ESPN2's presentation of college football is brought to you by the all-new BMW 3 Series. Everything your car does well, it does brilliantly. And by Coors Brewing Company and your local Coors distributor, who reminds you to be responsible. 21 means 21.
Back at Clemson, Death Valley, Wayne Larrivee, Dean Blevins, Lewis Johnson. Great to have you with us tonight. South Carolina refuses to die. Just when you think they're about to give up, they come battling back, and they have put their second touchdown drive of the game on the board and trail by 8. Levitt's extra point was his first missed PAT this season. High kick, Wofford. He's got good speed. Bumped into Rob Gardner, his own man, and that held him up a little bit and allowed the pursuit to get to him.
Well, I think tonight it would be only apropos to say that not so special teams is what we've seen. Look at these muffs. We have 5 right there. Wow. And there you see the average field position also. South Carolina on its own 28 and Clemson on its own 33. But muffs, and that one was almost a muff.
He juggled. In keeping with what we've seen here tonight on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Stayed right with the theme. First down now for Clemson. Football at the 29. Little play action out of the gun. Zachary escorted to the chalk marks by Hutcherson on the near side of the 32-yard line. Pick up on that play of about 3 yards. So Brandon Streeter trying to get his team back on a scoring trek. He's a junior out of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. An ankle injury at the end of spring ball, as we mentioned before. He had to take almost 2 months of the offseason off. He was off his feet for 2 months with that ankle injury. Severe sprain, and that certainly hurt his preparation for this season. He's not very quick of foot, and that's why they put in so much shotgun.
Exactly.
Over the middle, dropped by Gardner. Gardner had it. He looked upfield. He saw Ray Green bearing in on him, the safety, and let go of the football.
Yeah, Ray Green is in good position here. But you know what this is? This is lack of concentration, and I think at the same time, it's lack of confidence. There are many parallels with these teams tonight. One of them, though, Wayne, we were talking on the way over here, is lack of confidence, and that comes with losing.
Now, there are a lot of statistics you can look at for Clemson, offensively and defensively, and wonder how they're a 2-8 football team, but when you see them play, you understand. Same for South Carolina. Third down. Streeter with time. Tried to drill that pass in there to Mal Lawyer, and a beautiful play made by Karis Sullivan to knock it away.
Watch Sullivan 13 here against Lawyer. He knows that Clemson wants to play the flanks, the out route. Clemson fortunate that that ball is not intercepted. I believe that Clemson is going to have to throw the ball downfield to the middle of the field to score more points. Whether they need to score more points to win or not, we will find out.
Laird gets off a booming kick. Boo Williams across the 30-yard line to the 33 or 34, where it'll be a first down for South Carolina. A 50-yard punt. Well, those of you expecting to see the NFL tonight with host Mark Malone and a multitude of ex-Gridiron stars providing up to the minute information and analysis, get you ready for all of tomorrow's games. Don't forget, it will immediately follow our game here from Death Valley. We have 13:08 left to go in the football game. Clemson leading South Carolina 21-13 in the Gamecocks on a 1st and 10. Senior quarterback Anthony Wright. Off play action to Hambrick. Under pressure and sack. The Clemson pass rush ranks number 2 in number of sacks in the ACC. Coming into tonight's game, Adrian Dingle makes that sack.
Interesting routes this time by South Carolina receivers. They were deep routes. Wright's trying to buy time. It's almost as though you sometimes you get happy feet and run a little bit early. But it was really strange. You couldn't see from that angle, but the receivers were all deep on that play. Very unusual, perhaps a busted play.
Single season Tiger record for Adrian Dingle. 4 sacks tonight by Clemson. 2nd and long. Right to the sidelines. Kelly was out there. Pass a little bit too strong. Coverage provided by Robert Carswell.
I talked earlier about Reggie Herring wanting his defensive guys to disguise more, to confuse the quarterback. Here's Herring, and he says, guys, be smart. Let's make the quarterback think. What he's talking about is disguise blitz. These guys walk on up, make the quarterback think you're coming. That's what they do. Now they drop off into coverage. The quarterback's a little bit confused, and overthrows his man. Good job defensively.
3rd and 17. And they've had 3rd and a long ways to go most of the night. That's why they're 2 for 12 in this category. Blitz on. Anthony Wright, nowhere to go. Sacked back inside the 25. So the Clemson defense with Dingle leading the way once again. 3-yard loss. Clemson's 5th sack of the night.
Well, there's a reason that Anthony Dingle was projected by some people as the best outside linebacking prospect in college football before the season.
Courtney Levitt again in punt formation. This is Zachary. Across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Adam Holmes makes the tackle. 34-yard punt, but it'll be first down for Clemson, and the Tigers get it right on the Tiger paw. In good field position to begin this drive at their 47, leading 21-13.
Hey, beer man.
I'm the fastest beer man in Texas. That fan is thirsting for a cold frost brewed Coors Light, and I'm the guy that's gonna give it to him, punk.
This game has passed you by, old-timer. I'll give this fan a cup of ice-cold Rocky Mountain refreshment faster than you can blink.
All right, 2 beers.
You still got it, old man.
Not bad yourself, kid.
That's right.
Tired of carrying all that heavy water around every time you vacuum the wet basement? Get the new Shop Vac QPV, the quiet vacuum that sucks water from one place and pumps it to another. Because you've got better things to do than lug water around. Shop Vac, the only thing more powerful is our name.
Hokies and Cavaliers, a season-ending, bitter backyard rivalry for bragging rights.
College game day at 11. Virginia versus Virginia Tech at noon next Saturday on ESPN.
Wayne Larrabee, Dean Blevins, Lewis Johnson from Death Valley. Clemson hanging on to an 8-point lead, taking over first down near the 47 of the Tigers. Out of the shotgun. Brandon Streeter comes up running. Javis Austin. Boy, good footwork to get a first down and more. Inside the 40 of South Carolina to the 39. It is about a 15-yard gain. Karis Sullivan made the stop downfield.
Javis had those little Herschel Walker steps.
He did.
Herschel had those little steps and could just it didn't seem like he was going very fast, but he really was. Watch Javis here. Out of the gun. You can't run? Yeah, you can. Tremendous blocking up front. Look at that sidestep.
Tell you what, that little shuffle step he made on Darian Hutcherson really froze him, didn't it?
Sure did.
First down. Number 39. Here comes Witherspoon. Breaking tackles. And down it goes near the 31-yard line. Gain of 8 yards.
So what do you do if it works one time? You do the same thing again. They needed more plays like that over the course of the season because it hasn't gone Clemson's way. You know, when they played well, of course, in the opener against Furman and in Maryland when they win. But the bad games, the ones that really killed them, was the Virginia Tech game right here and also the Florida State game. Those 2 games right there just absolutely murdered their season. Other than that, they have been in ball games.
Second down and 2. Zachary running hard for the first down. Marco Hutchinson first to the ball, but not before the Tigers pick up a first down. Gain of almost 5 yards. Clemson trying to move in for what might be at this stage of the game a clinching score. They lead by 8 right now. But Tommy West has seen his team falter down the stretch in the past, as you pointed out. A lot of close losses for this Clemson ball club. I think Tommy West has been around long enough to know that this game is never over till the final gun sounds. First down. Javis Austin once again for a couple of hard-earned yards to the 25-yard line. Clemson has had some positive notes this season. Take a look at some of the marks. You know, 3rd most passing yards in Clemson history, 12th in the NCAA in yards allowed on the ground, 2nd in ACC in total defense, 32 sacks, 2nd to the ACC. They've got 5 sacks here tonight. So there have been some positives, but also, Dean, and you pointed out, we've seen the reasons why Clemson has the record it has right now. We've seen the same from South Carolina. Second down, about 8 yards to go. Streeter got it away just in time, had a man out there, and a diving attempt made, but it's incomplete.
Well, he got
TJ Watkins, the intended receiver.
He gets pressure. from the backside, and he feels the pressure. That's the difference in that play not working. That's a poorly thrown ball to a wide open receiver. But he had pressure coming from Abraham, who puts pressure on a lot of people.
There was a reason that ball came up short, and there's the reason right there in your picture.
NFL really likes the way this guy runs. You know, at 6'4", 250, you wouldn't think it, but he was a high school 100 and 200-meter champ.
They're down a little bit less than 9 to go. Streeter. Zachary, good move.
You know, they've been throwing the ball to the flanks all night long with very little success. But this time, he splits the defenders. And Zachary is off for the touchdown.
Great move after he made that catch to split 2 defenders, as you pointed out. The extra point by David Richardson is good. And Clemson has taken advantage. And Brandon Streeter engineers the touchdown drive to put Clemson on top big.
The new age of small business has arrived. Opportunity is everywhere. And American Express gives you the power to seize it with the Corporate Optima Platinum Card. A corporate platinum card that lets you pay over time. And it's yours free. Use it to extend payment with a low introductory APR of only 8.9%.
It's easy to apply.
The Corporate Optima Platinum Card makes it easier to manage your cash flow while providing your business with a substantial credit line of up to $50,000. You'll receive complete monthly expense reports and enjoy savings at FedEx and other businesses, all with no annual fee.
Call now and we'll take your application right over the phone.
It's your business, so put the experience of American Express Small Business Services to work for you. Call 1-800-SUCCESS today and apply for the Corporate Optima Platinum Card. And let American Express give your business the power to do more.
Dooley, it's Ross. Yesterday, I requested implementation of an active asset allocation for derivative securities, knowing full well that any reduction of the equity beta...
Let's face it, you're not always clear on a cellular phone. But now there's Sprint PCS, the only nationwide all-digital network, for a new level of clarity.
Just sell everything. I want to buy a ranch.
Sprint PCS.
With horsies.
The clear alternative to cellular.
Along with Lewis Johnson and Dean Blevins, Wayne Larrivee back at Death Valley Memorial Stadium, Clemson, South Carolina. Clemson now leading by 15 points. Travis Zachary on his first touchdown reception of the season. A 26-yard touchdown pass from Brandon Streeter. South Carolina scored on its first drive of the game and its last drive of the game thus far. Boo Williams will get a shot at this one from the goal line. He's got a seam. Boo Williams lifts South Carolina out to the Gamecock 49 on a 49-yard return. Charles Hafley made the tackle.
Well, Boo Williams had him a crease, and he finds it. Watch the crease develop here. If you're running this ball back, you're stop it right there. Look at this highway to heaven right here. Boo Williams goes. You know, last week he went as well against Florida. Boo Williams 110 return yards. He also, Wayne, had a 65-yarder called back. That would have been 175 yards in returns against the Gators.
But the Gamecocks are down. Phil Petty back in at quarterback. Sets up a screen pass. They had it snuffed out pretty well, but Neesmith gets away. All the way to the 24-yard line of Clemson. Alex Ardley makes the tackle. Antoine Neesmith, 27 yards.
Tommy West was talking about poor tackling in the first half by Clemson. That's exactly what you see here. Neesmith gets the ball. He's got to get around the defender, and he does a terrific job of getting around Childress. And then Neesmith shows us why we've been bragging on him all night.
O.J. Childress playing in place of the injured Chris Jones, the leading tackler. Petty somehow gets away. And out of bounds at the 18-yard line.
Hey, hand it to this team from South Carolina. They could have quit numerous times, both defensively and offensively. They've stayed in this ball game, and they're still in it. 8 minutes to go, 15 points down. It's 2 touchdowns.
You've got to, I mean, no question. They have shown hard here tonight. Watch Petty. This is a bit of a sleight of hand right here as he steps away from a couple of defenders and then picks up about 6 yards.
Petty's got great mobility for a young guy coming in. I think he's the future of this football program.
So it is 2nd and 4 for South Carolina. Snap was fumbled. Petty got it back, lost a couple of yards back near the 20-yard line.
Well, let's see. I'd say that the game's about to be a 7-pointer. Missed the extra point. First time in 6 years, missed the extra point. Now I say this is the future of the program. South Carolina fans, don't get mad. That doesn't mean your future's going to be on the ground all the time.
I hope not. 3rd down. About 6 yards to go now. South Carolina has struggled on 3rd downs. Blitz. Great catch made by Kelly inside the 5, and it's 1st and goal. Gamecocks at the 3. Carswell had the coverage. Oh, what a catch. 17 yards.
Well, South Carolina gets very little out of its tight end position. It's sort of like a give-up position for them. The fans see it on a replay before you do at home. Looks to me like he got it.
I think so. I think he did. On the rollout. Touchdown. Mixon's 2nd score of the night. Steve Mixon on the touchdown pass from Phil Petty. 4 yards, and South Carolina again charges back into it.
Well, and now you go for 2 because you want to go ahead and get as many points on the board as you can to try to get back within 7. This is the play. Actually, the last play was better than this because it gave them the 1st down here. But Petty comes on. Gamer got him in the end zone. Mixon, nice catch. He has excellent hands.
Petty engineered a couple of touchdown drives in Florida last week, so he has done the job in adverse circumstances in tough places to play, like the Swamp and now Death Valley a week later. 3 receivers, bottom of your screen from the shotgun. Rush is on. Petty has to release early. Incomplete. Hambrook, the intended receiver.
Close to a penalty there. That's a big stop right there. Now,
Dean, I'll tell you, a minute ago it was 28-13, a 15-point lead with the way things were going for Brad Scott and South Carolina. That was a big lead in this kind of ball game for Clemson. But now South Carolina charges right back into it. They refuse to give up on it. And I think Brad's a little upset. He thought his receiver may have been held on that play.
It was close. It was really close. Yeah, it was. And that's a critical non-call because now it's a 9-point game. It's a touchdown and a field goal difference.
Well, but I'll tell you what, these kids have shown some heart from South Carolina. It's a team that hasn't won since September, the opening week of the season. Let's take a look at the BMW storyline of tonight's game. And there's a look at it. South Carolina, those turnovers have hurt, missed extra point, and the 3rd down conversions now 4-14. Clemson's got a solid night from Streeter.
They've gotten better. It was 1 of 11.
Oh yeah, recently they've been much
3 of 3.
5 sacks tonight though by Clemson. The defense, when it's had to, has come up big here tonight to protect this lead.
You're right. You know, that play for the 2-point conversion attempt was very close. I thought when the play was run that it was interference. And in a moment, perhaps we'll be able to look back at it. But it was a critical non-call.
Hooch kick. Fair catch signal made. And the catch completed on the play by the safety Charles Hafley.
All right,
it's the 2-point conversion.
2-point conversion. Defender can't make contact before the football is there. That's all you have to know. Can't make contact. Contact, there it is. Bad call. Was it a catchable ball? I think it was. That's a bad call.
And you had two guys looking at it right there, point blank range.
So now that's not an automatic 2 points, of course. What should have happened is that they would have the down over from half the distance, a yard and a half out, to bring the game to within 7. Now it's 9, and now you have to have a touchdown and a field goal.
Running room for Austin.
You know what?
Travis Austin had the big first half, and he picks up about 4 or 5 yards here.
You know what else that does is it's a momentum shift, because if that call is made and South Carolina does put it in the end zone, now it's a 7-point game. I mean, now you really have something happening. And since it didn't happen, now Clemson gets it back, and we'll see what South Carolina is able to do defensively.
5-yard pickup, 2nd and 5. Witherspoon, and he grapples for the first down out across the 45-yard line. Once again, for those of you waiting for the NFL tonight here on ESPN2, Mike Tirico will have the update of the games coming up tomorrow, analysis from a multitude of ex-NFL gritters. Set to get you ready for all of tomorrow's big games coming up immediately following our game here from Clemson. I may have spoken too early in awarding that first down. The officials didn't give him nearly as generous a spot as I would have. To bring the chains across the way and make it official. First down.
Well, somewhere between now and 5:59, this game ends, Brad Scott will get a call his way, because he was livid after the non-call, and rightfully so. He's saying, come on. I mean, don't do it to me. This is huge.
I'll tell you what, his kids have not quit at all here tonight. And as you mentioned, they've had many opportunities to do so. But you expect that type of play in a rivalry like this.
Small state. These teams, 365 days a year, look forward to this game.
Witherspoon out of the shotgun. And gets a yard or 2. Darian Hutcherson makes the stop, but time now becoming a factor. We're under 5.5 minutes to go in the game. Clemson leading by 9.
Clemson has to make a stop. Excuse me, South Carolina has to make a stop. Clemson has done a nice job out of the shotgun formation of running all its running plays that you would typically see, as we mentioned earlier, except option. They've not run that. I get the feeling that that play would be open. They've run it one time, and it was defended well.
2nd down and 9. Have taken too much time to get that snap away. The officials have had an interesting night.
Dead ball foul, false start against the offense, movement in the offensive line prior to the snap, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
It is not a delay of game, but a false start. I'll tell you something, though, for an official, Dean, it is, and you've played in rivalry games like this, it's not easy to officiate a game like this. There's a lot of clawing and scratching going on out there, and people taking shots each way.
It's a lot of emotion. A lot of emotion again. And this has been one of those games where there have been difficult calls. Now, some of these calls, I think the inadvertent whistle was a bad call, and the other one, those are easy calls, but there have been some tougher ones.
Streeter rolling. Looking play, but it's a keeper by Streeter all the way, and he's out of bounds near the midfield marker. It'll be a gain of about 8 yards.
You know, I mentioned option, and so they come with a play that looks like option, but there's no trailing back on the play. So I don't think it's a busted play, but typically you would see a running back so that he could pitch the ball back. But that is a look that South Carolina was not prepared for, and that's why it was successful.
I don't think they expected this much movement from Brandon Streeter. And all the talk about how he doesn't have the quick feet, et cetera, the ankle injury last spring and everything else. Now it's 3rd down. 3rd and about 6 from the midfield marker. Streeter option this time. Zachary, nowhere to go. My goodness, that was snuffed out by the Gamecocks. Led by Cecil Caldwell. Loss of 4. Corey Atkins was also there.
Well, Atkins is the one who makes the play here, 58. Watch him string this thing out. And one of the reasons that play is stopped is that South Carolina believes that Clemson is going to run the football. So they stack the line of scrimmage. The option becomes especially difficult, especially from a non-running quarterback.
Kevin Laird on in punt formation. Under 4 minutes to go for the game. Just did get that kick away, and a beauty. There is a penalty marker down, and Clemson unable to keep it in play. It does get into the end zone. There's a penalty marker down on the play. I'm wondering if it's for running into the kicker. It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's another one of those plays that'll just absolutely kill you.
Let's take a look at it.
You just can't let that happen. 3.5 minutes to go. Your offense has to have the ball back. You've done a nice job in stopping them and giving them the ball back with a timeout left. You can still pull it out, but boy, now you really put
Personal
yourself.
foul, roughing the kicker against the defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
Abraham, the guilty party. And Brad Scott is hot. That's not running into the kicker. That's roughing the kicker, and that's a first down. So Clemson gets to stay on offense. Not only that, they get the ball to the 39-yard line of South Carolina.
Now what's happening, the officials are talking about whether that's a 5-yard penalty.
Exactly. That's the key.
Right.
If it's a 5-yard penalty.
And that's what Brad Scott's hollering about. He's admitting that there should be a penalty marked off. Not one that gives Clemson a first down. And it doesn't look like he's going to win the argument.
I don't think he is. Not judging from at all. It's the kind of season it's been for Brad Scott. Nothing has come easy.
Well, to his credit, we can all read his lips, and it's PG rated.
Yes. Zachary. Clemson looking for a score that would finally put this thing away. And 3:20 left to go.
You know, that was a nice job by Zachary. Not that he did a great job of running, but he stayed in bounds. Clock is running, and that's the most important factor on Clemson's side, aside from the lead.
The other factor is South Carolina with just one timeout remaining.
And that guy is savoring this thing right now. I bet he's not a guy, he says he doesn't get too emotional. But right now he feels the wind. I bet he has goosebumps all over his body.
2nd and 8. Zachary. And once again, Zachary for some tough yardage. Gain of about 3 to the 34. Shannon Wadley made the stop for South Carolina. Inside of 2.5 minutes to go in the game.
You know, I've had the chance to get to know a lot of coaches around the country. It's one of the most fun things that I enjoy about our business. That guy right there is about as classy as they come. And I understand that at Clemson you have to win. And I'm not going to get into these song and dance that they should have kept him. But you just hate to see it happen because what he's done for the kids academically, they've been in no trouble. The NCAA, they're not around. A bunch of great things are happening. But,
in the end, in this business, it's about wins and losses.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. And you can paint it any other way you want, but that's what it comes down to. And that is a classy man. Tommy West, and his kid's going to send him off a winner here tonight in Death Valley.
And you know what? It doesn't mean that you can't win and do it with class.
Not at all.
That's what everyone looks for.
Yep. Minute 48 left to go in the season for these two schools. Clemson on top.
I do kitchens, I do bathrooms, I do family rooms. I do not do insurance. I want to be treated like I feel I treat my client. I want to be treated like I am their only client. Michelle Duthman treats me the same way I want to be treated. I have my cars, all of my household. I need somebody that I can get advice from. I know that when I need them the most, they're going to be there.
Get to know your State Farm agent.
It's a great relationship.
Iowa Sound. You gotta hear this.
Wayne Larrivee, Dean Blevins, Lewis Johnson back at Clemson. Tommy West, his team trying to salt this one away. It's 4th down. There's a penalty marker down. Looked like a false start by the offense as Weatherspoon carries for the first down.
Well, it's got to be frustrating for South Carolina. This season is going to come to a dismal close for them.
Foul, offside against the defense. There was contact when the player came across the line. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Not a false start. I guessed wrong.
Yeah, the mistakes have just killed them. This is another penalty that will just drive you nuts from Carolina.
9 penalties against Carolina here tonight, and I think the emotions beginning to well up inside of Tommy West. 83 yards in losses.
And they'll watch his eyes closely, see if those things well up.
The easiest first down of the night has just been gained by penalty for Clemson. Zachary, and he got back to the line of scrimmage. No timeouts left for South Carolina. Lindsay West, the wife of head coach Tommy West. We've got a young son, Tucker.
Well, he wasn't expecting her to come down. We were asking him the other day, but this is unusual. It's his last game here.
I beg your pardon. His son is Tucker, or make that Turner. There's Tommy. Boy, he's feeling it now. Receiving congratulations from everyone. Lindsay joins him.
You know, at practice the other day, Tommy West was hurled into the air by all of the team. It was a really neat thing to see him, and he came back down. He says, you know, they ought to fire me every day. He said, I'll bring the cigars to the locker room if we win.
Lindsay on the right of your picture, Turner on the left, and there is the head coach in his final minutes, final seconds as head coach at Clemson, Tommy West. What a nice send-off. Players of the game tonight. These two people have been around Clemson for better than 13 years. Tommy and Lindsay West. And Tommy West carried off the field by his team.
You'd think they'd won the championship, huh?
Yep. That's the kind of feeling these players in this program have for their head coach, Tommy West. And Lindsay, his wife, as well.
Good things do happen to good people, huh?
Tommy West will land on his feet. He's a class individual. And he and Lindsay met here at Clemson years ago. Anthony Wright for South Carolina, our player of the game, and head coach Tommy West. He finishes his season as a winner in his last game as Clemson head coach. So Tommy West and Clemson have scored a 28-19 win over South Carolina. The goalposts come down and a victory ride for Dean Blevins, Lewis Johnson, our entire ESPN crew. I'm Wayne Larrivee wishing you a pleasant good night from Clemson, South Carolina. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
Welcome to Rivalry Week NFL style, where the Titans of old battle the Titans of the future.